Welcome, 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 everyone. How's everyone doing out there? Oh, man, it has been an intriguing week. I hope all of you are doing fine. Welcome to Bridge the Divide. To anybody who happens to be new here, anybody I haven't seen yet, I appreciate you being here. I hope you all enjoyed my latest video where I took a look at that Bushman guy Ryan Townsend and all the he claimed to have evidence for God, but then turned around and had no evidence for God, or he presented none whatsoever. It was all just a bunch of emotional appeals based upon an observation of patterns in the universe. But I hope you all enjoyed that, and I've got more videos coming up. I've got more stuff regarding woo debunking and more stuff addressing the arguments of theists. It's getting tougher for some reason. It may be that my channel is still too small. I don't know, but it's harder and harder to find individuals who will. So I've recently taken to trolling Facebook. And, I mean, not really trolling people, but trawling Facebook. So I'm scouring Facebook looking for individuals who might want to, either come on the show or come into the live chat and talk with me about these things. Especially individuals who are I'm sorry, I'm refilling my vape. Especially individuals who are really, really, really scientifically illiterate and making claims about stuff that they have no business making claims about because they don't understand the fields of science themselves. So you see that's a grammatical thing. Plot hole. I see plot holes in the live chat because people say trolling when they mean trawling. Like trawling for something when you are scraping along in order to pick things up. So I've been trawling Facebook instead of trolling Facebook. So that's an important clarification. So before let's that's that. I don't think it's a rabbit hole. We don't need to go into. Let's take a look at who has joined us in the live chat. And Johnny does have an invite if he wants to come on the show because there's so many things going on right now, so many things, and I know a lot of you. I have a lot of subscribers and followers that are in England and that are across the pond, in Ireland, England, Spain, France, Germany, and I know that things are getting climate-wise. Things are getting really intense for y'all out there. It's getting intense for everybody everywhere, but it's being felt particularly bad in Europe. So I know there's crazy stuff going on there. But let's see who is in the live chat right now. I got Second Best Bob is in the house. Good to see you, Second Best Bob, who's also a member of the Godless Army. Says, wish I could be there, but it's my UK bedtime. Have fun, y'all. Will do, sir. Thank you so much for popping in. He's also a member of the Godless Army and helps to make this show exactly what it is. As a matter of fact, let me pop that up there. There's the banner. That's my big, giant thank you to all of the channel members and all those who picked up Bridge the Divide shirts or throwing me super chats. Have been amazing. So I do appreciate it because those super chats enable me to do stuff like continue to do this channel all the time, and of course to go on trips and to do road trips like I'll be doing when we go hang out with Irish Demon in come September. It's going to be fun because I'm driving out to Ashland, Kentucky, and we're going to have a ball. We're going to go out there and watch Chili get his butt kicked. It'll be fun. Just Call Me Avi's here. Good to see you, Just Call Me Avi. Good to see you. Thanks so much. It's Poof, I appear. Glad you're here. It's a me, It's a me, Mario Rui. Good to see you, Mario. Thanks so much for being here. Says, always when it's time for me to go to sleep, we'll have to catch us tomorrow. Enjoy the stream, everyone. Appreciate you popping by, Mario. Also a member of the Godless Army. Do appreciate that. Rebels here. Good to see you. Says, I'm anxious to hear the plan. I'm putting together a kind of what can be done. I don't want to just jump in the car and just beeline to Ashland. If there's something along the way, I want to check it out. So I'm actually hunting for spots along the way because so my trip is going to take me out of Oklahoma. I'm going to go through southern Missouri, up through San Antonio, up through St. Louis, and I'm going to see. I want stop by and see the Arch, and then of course through Missouri into Kentucky, and then on to Ashland. And because I'll be there for a little bit, I'll be crashing up there. I found a decent hotel that's of a decent price, and since I'm going to be up there, I'm going to take some time during one day to check out the Mothman Museum, to check out Point Pleasant, and the site of the Silver City Bridge collapse, and of course the Mothman, the legend of the Mothman. I want to check out the statue and see all that cool stuff. Just do the sightsee, the kind of touristy thing, and hang out in West Virginia for a minute, and just kind of check it out. It should be a lot of fun. But that's part of the plan. I'm going to find more stuff because, sometimes, unless you're just driving through Mississippi, which other than the Mississippi Bridge, the Mississippi River Bridge, there's no reason to stop in Mississippi. There really isn't. Cal Cool J's here. Good to see you, Cal Cool J's. This evening, all. Thanks so much for being here as well. Lori Marie as well. Thank you so much. And thank you for your interactions, your comments on my videos. I do appreciate that, Lori. I really do. Some old dudes here in the house. Good to see you. Says hello, all. Good to see you, some old dude. And Sam I Am as well. Good to see you, Sam I Am. I do not want to butcher her name. I see her. I don't want to butcher that name. Raisin? I totally fucked it up. I know I did. I apologize, but I see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Gia as well is here. Good to see you. Says hi, everyone. Good to see you, Gia. Peter Noddle. Good to see you. Good day to you, and thanks for being here. Frank Perry's here. Says, how is JL? How is it the JL has more Irish-sounding music than Demon? I don't know. I do not know. Oh, Rasheen. Thank you, Plothole, for clarifying that. Rasheen. I hope that makes up for it. I will remember this, Rasheen. I appreciate you being here. I don't know, and I don't know why he hasn't tried to find more Irish-sounding music for his live streams. I have no idea. So you got me on that one. But thank you, Frank Perry, also a member of the Godless Army. Cal, say, got you there. That was me talking. And then I see Mr. Sugar is here. A possible guest. I don't hear my phone ringing. It would be a link, probably why your phone's not ringing. But I appreciate you being here. Crafty Keela's in lurk mode. Good to see you, Crafty. Thanks so much for hanging out. Your little one is adorable. Oh, he is so cute. Oh, so adorable. Kids are always the best when they're other people's kids. But he is totally, he's going to be a heartbreaker when he grows up. Oh, let me see who else we got here. Oh, I will try to. Lori says, sorry to hear. We got people who don't sound like they're feeling too good. Maybe feeling down, or maybe coming down with something. So I hope to cheer you up. I hope to have some fun. I have put out invites to some individuals to see if they have to see if they're wanting to join. I said Roisin. She'll correct me. But I put out some invites to some people to see if they would like to come on and talk about things that are going on, and see what's happening. Predominantly, I wanted to go live because I hadn't done a live stream in quite a while. I've been extraordinarily busy with what's going on with Week in Horror and things that are coming up. We have I can't reveal too much, but I will say that we have a big meeting coming up I think it's in later towards the end of this month. We got to be, I think we have, our people need to be in Houston. I think it's in Houston, or it's either Houston or Corpus Christi or Corsicana. One of those. It's South Texas. Our people need to be in South Texas. I'm the writer. They never tell me anything. But our people need to be in South Texas for this meeting, and we are putting together stuff that we need for this meeting, and hopefully this will go well, and we'll come back with some really, really excellent news. We don't know, but this is part of the whole thing. It's just, you got to kind of fight for what you want to do. And so I've been really, really busy with that, and of course churning out some scripts that I've been steadily working on, and just getting stuff done. Not to mention all the stuff with the podcast, gearing up for the end of Season 3, because we're about to go into Season 4 on Week in Horror. So it means new artwork, that means new stuff coming up. It's all kinds of fun. So super, super fun. Let's see. So Roisin, Roisin is what I got. So Plauto says my volume is a bit low. Is my volume a bit low? Let me know if my volume is a bit low. Crafty says I'm new. Crafty's been a supporter of the show, of my show, and of Week in Horror since the very, very beginning. So, do appreciate that, Crafty. Let me see. I'm going to make sure I got everybody. Commander Darklight's in the house. Good to see you, Commander Darklight. I understand things have been busy for you lately, but that's always good. It's always good to be busy. And also a member of the Godless Army. Appreciate that support. And one of the longest supporters of Week in Horror we have up there with NANA. So it's been, thank you so much, dude, for helping us make it possible. Good things on the horizon. Gosh of Heckfire is here. Good to see you, Gosh of Heckfire. Glad to see you're doing well. And let me see. Mr. Shigura, saw that. Wrote it no last name. Gabba Gabba to you, bud. It says it's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark and we're wearing sunglasses. Blues Brothers for the win. Absolutely. Love that. Hit it. So, Rebel says, I think they're afraid of you, Jail, for good reason. They shouldn't be afraid of me. I should not pose. If their God exists, I'll throw this out there. If their God exists, I should not pose any threat to it. It should be. If it was true, if their God exists and this thing is true, I pose no threat to gravity. I pose no threat to evolution. I pose no threat to the theory of the theory of relativity, general theory of relativity, or the theory of electroquantum dynamics. I don't pose a threat to these things because these things are true. They are indicative of the reality. They're indicative of the universe. I don't pose a threat to them. If it's true, I wouldn't pose a threat. You know, that's the whole point. But apparently I do. So, I don't know. Maybe they're scared. Maybe they don't want to. Maybe they just is like, oh, I'm not. You're just a troll. They just pull like the Darth Dawkins. They're like, I'm just a troll, and you know, I'm not going to deal with you. Maybe. Scouring is a good word. That's true. Thank you. Bob Nodell's Gyroscope is here. Good to see you, Bob Nodell. Thank you so much. Oh, Bob Nodell's Gyroscope. Keep on spinning there, good sir. Good to see you. Let me see here. Plothole is also in the chat. Member of the Godless Army. Do appreciate it, bud. Always appreciate all the support. Oh, what did Commander Darklight say? Commander Darklight said, doing really well, started a new career as a canine hydrotherapist, and it's fantastic. Awesome, dude. That's freaking amazing. I'm assuming that is swimming therapy, water therapy for dogs, which is cool because my dog does that. My dog Shotzi does that. She's been advanced in age, and she's, I think, getting up there to where she's older than the Jingles, does not have the health problems that Jingles did, but she is on, she's always had a weight issue because she has an underactive, or was it overactive thyroid, or no, just underactive thyroid, and so she's on thyroid medication. But because she does have hip dysplasia, she uses water therapy for her back legs. So that is awesome to hear. And she's actually lost a considerable amount of weight now that she's on the appropriate medication. And finally, my chubby little girl has been able to roll over in the backyard to a hopeless abandon, and she loves it. Because it's been ever since she was a puppy, she was able to, but she kind of lost the ability because of her thyroid. But now she's on the appropriate medication. The weight is kind of melting off of her. She's on a really strong diet, and now when she goes to the backyard, she just like rolls over to hopeless abandon, as a dog should, as a puppy should. Absolutely. Let me see what we got here. I said we got some new members, so I'm going to get down to them. Frank Perry's here. Good to see you. Frank Perry says, my friend just started a psychic medium channel. I'm sure he would chat with you. I'd love to chat with him. I would love to. I'd love to chat with the psychic medium. Bring him on. Give him a link. Tell him to message me. ASAP, 100%. Johnny says he wishes he could join, but the signal on the mountain is a little bit spotty. So if he can, he can. If not. It's all good. I just it's no pressure. Let me see who else we got here. Crafty says I can stay for about 20 minutes, half an hour, then the brat will awaken. Aww. Mother's work is never done. This is the truth. Elizabeth Sylvester's in the house. Good to see you, Elizabeth Sylvester. Thanks so much for being here. Also a big supporter of the show. Stacey Hansen as well says good evening. Good evening, Stacey. Some old dude has become a new member of the Godless Army. We do appreciate it, good sir. Thank you very, very much. Your support is greatly appreciated. It helps me to continuously do this. Absolutely. Drop a link, dude. Absolutely, plot hole. Go for it. Let's see. Gosh Effect Fire is in St. Louis. Very cool. Awesome. I Heart Dogs is here. Another member of the Godless Army. Thanks so much for being here. Suit Kettle as well is here. Suit Kettle, official Suit Kettle. Good to see you. Says, hey, y'all. Thank you very much. Roisin. Yeah, Roisin. R-O-H. Roisin. That's right. Roisin. Oh, okay, I got R-O-H, R-O-W, and Johnny told me R-O-E. All of them are pronounced Ro. So, Roisin. Good to go. I'm never going to forget it. Adam Lapine is here. Says, hi, everyone. Good to see you, Adam. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. And he is so adorable. Absolutely. He absolutely is adorable. I got to get down to the bottom of this chat. Let me see here. End of August, Houston. We told you everything. Please, you don't tell me nothing. I'm just the writer. Lori Marie is a new member of the Godless Army. Thank you so much, Lori Marie. I do appreciate the support. Please enjoy your new access. Same as you, some old guy. Enjoy your access to all of the emojis that I have created for you, all the custom emojis I made. The more channel members we get, the more emojis we unlock. And I have more in store. So slowly but surely, we will get those emojis going. Get a whole bunch more emojis unlocked. But enjoy the emojis you have now, including Heil Greg, Darth Dawkins with a duct tape on his face, crying Otangelo, which is one of my favorites, and of course the Number Brothers Donut Earth and Ken Hovind behind bars, all kinds of stuff. So I've made all those for you, and there are more on the way as soon as we unlock more members. So I do appreciate that, Lori. Thank you very, very much. All right, and you get the channel badge, which is the expanding mind meme. So the longer you're with me, the longer you're with me, the more your mind expands. See how I see what I did there? All the love to you, Crafty. Thank you so much. Let me see here. Rasheen. See, Lori came there, and just scroll down, scroll down. Yeah, there they go. Look at all those. Okay, there's Haley, and it looks to me like Gaelic? I'm not 100% sure. Let me see here. Okay, make sure I got, because it for some reason, StreamYard, the chat is jumping. It jumps more and more. So Rasheen is a channel member. Thank you very much for the support there. I'm glad that you're busy. Sounds good that you're busy. Commander Darklight, new careers are always amazing and fun. Sickness TSP is here. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Bud Bottle Cap as well says, as someone who is spiritual, I want to say I really appreciated your last vid. While I take some things based on faith, I want to 100% respect and love the research and facts you brought up. It's my pleasure, Bottle Cap. It's important. The biggest thing, or the most important thing I try to focus on is that we need to be more interested in what is true and what can be demonstrated to be true than what we want to be true. So personal truths are a thing, and typically what people believe is true about the world is kind of correlates with what they understand about the world. And so, but personal truths are a thing. You can think a thing is true even though you might be wrong, and that's fine. But as long as your interest is predicated as like, I want to know what is true as opposed to what I think is true or to what I hope to be true. One must be more important than the other. And if someone wants their personal truth to be more important than what is actually true, then you wind up in situations like Alex Jones found himself in when he was trying to basically turn the defamation trial that he was in into a circus and make it the Alex Jones show, and that judge had to shut him down, which is absolutely hilarious. Just because he says it's true or he thinks it's true doesn't make it reality. So that's the important thing. As long as we can do these things and be honest about the things that we take on faith, if you happen to be a person who takes anything on faith, if you do that, then there's no issue. Then because you suddenly realize that the extreme evangelism isn't really supported by someone who's just like, yeah, I understand that this is irrational, it's purely emotional. I have no reason to run around and tell people, that they need to feel the way I feel. That's the key right there, is running around telling people that they need to feel how the other person feels. They don't know that their God exists. They don't know that for a fact. In fact, I can debunk that. I can demonstrate how their Abrahamic God does not exist. That what they're actually worshiping is a brand of deism with the Yahweh label slapped on it. That's what they're worshiping. The Abrahamic God cannot exist by definition. Definitionally, it's defined itself out of existence. It's not a thing that can occur in reality. So it can only be in the imagination. So the key on that one is that they feel it's real. They feel it's true. And they want other people to feel the same way. But we don't run around telling everybody, hey, I feel in love. You need to feel in love too. That's ridiculous. Or I feel angry. You need to feel... Well, we do actually do with the anger thing. But you see how ridiculous that is. I'm happy, so you should be happy too. I'm angry, so you should be angry too. It's ridiculous. It's the exact same argument. I believe in God. Or, the person says, I believe in God. You believe in God. You should believe in God too. Why? It all comes down to feelings. It all really, really does. Adam's here, another member of the Godless Army. Thanks so much. Good to see you. Art Akuto says, you all should know there is one God and her name is Chili. That's hilarious. I'm doing good, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Cindy Sue's in the house. Good to see you, Cindy. Says, geez, I say hi. I post a 9-month membership and jail still ignores me. Okay. My bad. Hey, Cindy, I apologize. I just got down to where I saw you. And the super chats get posted on StreamYard, but the milestone chats, they don't get posted to StreamYard. I'm looking at this on StreamYard, not on my YouTube screen. So I'd actually have to pull up my YouTube channel. Give me 1 second. If I go to my channel, go to my live chat, let me mute myself. And Where did it go? I see it. There it is. Some old gift. Oh, thank you so much, some old dude. See, I said some old dude gifted 10 Bridge the Divide memberships, and I didn't even see that notification. You know, I probably ought to, like, look at my live chat instead. So let me look at my live chat. Although it's weird to see me delayed on screen. Well, it's a lot smaller, too. I wonder if I can I make that bigger? Let me see here. Rasheen, yeah, we're good to go. Scapegoat Iscariot is here. Thank you so much for being here. It makes the damn frogs gay. That's hilarious. I think one of the death grips on is how upset he was about the Sumerians' Tower of Babel and pays no mind to the skyscraper's flight and space travel. Love it. See, Haley, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Kyle Wellman said, this is my first Bridge the Divide live stream. Thank you so much for being here, Kyle. I do appreciate it. Jack Burton says, phrasing. I saw Jack Burton's in the house. Good to see you, Jack. So, but Cindy, I appreciate it. Cindy has been a member for 9 months. Do appreciate that, Cindy. Thank you so much. Some old dude gifted out 10 Bridge the Divide memberships. Thank you so much, some old dude. I do appreciate that. That was amazing. And oh, thank you, Kyle. It says I'm fascinating. And Surfs, can I make that bigger? Maybe with surgery. Probably with surgery. Phrasing. This is true. All right. So yeah. Looking at the oh, I need to close that. Looking at the StreamYard, I do not see all of the cool stuff that comes up. They have not updated that. Jack Bird asked me, have I reviewed Prey yet? I have not reviewed Prey yet. Well, we talked about Prey over on Week in Horror briefly, because it's an amazing fucking movie. Okay, Crafty says I need to feed the brat and then I get to sleep. Have a good rest, Crafty. I know you must be exhausted, but thank you for hanging out. So, we talked about Prey a bit, and what gets me is, this is weird. I don't know who all has seen Prey in the live chat. Press a 1, put a 1 in the live chat if you have seen the movie on Hulu. If you've seen the new Predator film called Prey, which takes place in the 1600s and follows a Comanche woman who winds up taking on the Predator in combat. And, winds up getting in the middle of a Predator hunt. So, if you have seen it, the biggest thing that's weird about this, is the reactions to the movie. There has been a lot of I guess trolling of the film, where people are calling it out for being woke, and people are apparently angry about the movie Prey because they think it's woke in some way. It's trying to elevate, women in respect. I'm not 100% sure. It's very weird, and that people just so that they feel like it was like social justice warriors had an effect on this movie, and they're trying to stick their woke ideology down people's throats and stuff. And it's like they seem to have forgotten Aliens and the Terminator. So, and, Halloween and Any Final Girl. It's weird. I don't know. But I thought that the movie was fantastic. I really, really loved everything was smart about it. It took me a minute to realize, it took me a couple of viewings to realize that the skull that the Predator was wearing, that the mask that it was wearing, was a modified Predator skull, which I thought was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty neat. Let me see here. This sort of thing is my bag, baby. So I see a lot of people have seen it. It's really, really is freaking good. I loved it. I really did. Let me see. Asgard's in the house. Good to see you, Asgard. Thanks so much for being here. Mr. 4 Twitch is here as well. Thanks so much for being here, Mr. 4 Twitch. Steaming Cup of Reasons in the house. Says, Morning Bridge Divide. How's it going? It is going well, sir. Just kicked off. Only been here for less than 30 minutes. So appreciate it, Steaming Cup of Reason. Also a member of the Godless Army. I do appreciate it. Never saw the Predator's face in Prey. You briefly see it. The thing is that it was dark. But you briefly do kind of see it when the helmet gets knocked off. But what I thought was cool was that the helmet it was wearing was a modified Predator skull that was designed to sit forward and modified with the technology in order so it could have the laser targeting system built into it. But it was a modified Predator skull, which I thought was really, really cool. Mr. 4 Twitch says, "Where's my wrench?" Maybe I am. And when I first started the channel, I was really kind of giving. I was really generous with the wrenches, and then I was instructed by my fellow YouTubers like Team Skeptic and a number of others that I needed to be a little more discerning in just throwing out wrenches to everybody. So wrenches will be handed out. Yes, in a locked toolbox. Thank you, sir. There's a locked toolbox. I forgot the combination. They will be handed out as kind of like on a case-by-case basis. But I have a lot of mods in the chat, and I appreciate all their hard work, and of course, or spanners, yes. Thank you, Roshin. And I have a lot of mods in the chat, and if any of the nasty sex bots come along, the prawn bots come along, then they will shut them down. So I think Rudy Chavez here, so I'd love to see that Predator movie. I love movies involving tribal Native Americans like the Apache tribe. Very, very cool. And I love that this one involved the Comanches. We recently, on Week in Horror, we recently reviewed a movie called Wolfen, which came out in the early 80s. And that movie centered around the Mohawks. More specifically, the group of the Mohawk tribal members that lived in New York and helped to create the New York skyline that you see today. They called them the Mohawk Skywalkers because they worked on all of they had no fear, and they worked on all of the skyscrapers to help build like things like Rockefeller Center or like Rockefeller, the Empire State Building, several of the bridges that they worked on. So, but those were members of the Mohawk tribe, and they were highly respected and regarded in the burgeoning New York City as the Mohawk Skywalkers, which I thought was really, really cool. Let me see here. Bob Nodell says, Bridge Divider, are you going to talk your Chili after the fight? Talk Chili after the fight. If he shows up and I get an opportunity to talk to Chili, I would be happy to talk to him. Most likely, I will not. Most likely, when he loses, because if he shows up, he will lose, he will usher out of there fast. He will bug out of there quick. Oh, and before he points out to me, before Johnny points it out to me, Rudy says, "I'm thinking you've seen Last of the Mohicans." Well, yes, I've seen Last of the Mohicans several times. Great movie. I'm a huge fan of Daniel Day-Lewis. We ourselves, I can only hint at this. I can't give too much information, but we ourselves here over at Week in Horror, me and the guys, me, Johnny, Eugene, Alex, Aaron, everybody behind the scenes, we are working on a Native American horror film, or one that centers around a Native American legend. I can't say much else, but we are working on one. I will say this, it is not the Skinwalker. Skinwalker's been overdone. Everybody's familiar with Skinwalkers. Skinwalkers have been done to death in Hollywood in movies to the point that people just confuse them with werewolves. Completely different things. Skinwalkers and werewolves are not the same things, but Hollywood has melded them together. But we are working on a horror film that centers around another Native American legend, specifically of the Plains Nations, and hopefully soon we'll be able to reveal more about that. I can't reveal too much, but we are working on that. So, and I was living here in Oklahoma. I was really happy to get to sit down and talk with members of several of the local tribes about some of the scarier legends that they have. And like the Muskogees, I sat down and spoke with them at the Muskogee Museum, and it was absolutely awesome. So I'm really, really looking forward to this. It's hopefully we'll be able to reveal more on that. Tony Rosine says, no, it is not the Manitou. Mr. Fortwist says, Chili will never talk to anyone because he will never shut up. Okay. And Govna978 says, my only real complaint was that they had the Comanche go in and out of English. Just pick one. Would have loved it if it was done all in Comanche as originally planned, but don't half-ass it. Govna, did you know that there is a Comanche dub of the film, where the entire film is in Comanche, and the only subtitles is what is in Comanche? When the French trappers come along, when the French-Canadian trappers show up, when the white guys show up, none of their stuff is subtitled. It's only that you only hear the French. And the only time any of the subtitles pop up is when it's in Comanche. So there was a full 100% Comanche dub, and it is excellent. It is, in my opinion, the only way to watch the damn movie. Because originally the movie was intended to be full Comanche. And so now, but there is a Comanche dub, and I think that you will love it. Absolutely. It's an amazing film. And I feel all the aliens out there that are bummed because this sequel comes along and beats out anything post Cameron's Aliens. So, Jack Bird says my money's on the Wendigo. You would be wrong. Wendigos and Wendigo and Skinwalkers have been done to death. They've been done. I mean, when they show up in a show like Supernatural, then it's done. Because now TV's picking up on it because they found a way to present them in palatable ways. I can tell you this. the center of this horror film that we're working on, that we're slowly but surely putting together, it has not been done in film before. I can only tell you that. I'm giving away too much. I really, really am. Smart people, they're going to figure it out. But Bob Nadell says, Bob Nadell's gyroscope says, methinks he'll make some sort of excuse not to show up for that. That's what I'm thinking. That is exactly what I'm thinking. Governor said, yes, I heard about the dub after, and I'm going to rewatch that way, but sad that it has to be a dub. Thanks for the rec. Absolutely, yeah. I saw it first when I was coming through, and I was like, there it is, and I saw Comanche dub next, and I was like, oh, gotta watch that one first. Absolutely amazing. Angel Rivera's here. Good to see Angel Rivera. Thanks so much for hanging out. Same with Susie Y. Thanks so much for being here. And Ed209. Yep, thanks so much, Ed209. Do appreciate it. No, you're not late. Just chatting here for a minute. Mr. For Twitch says alien movies just don't line up in a timeline. That's true. There's a lot of chronological issues with those. So, and a lot of people speaking in Gaelic or writing in Gaelic in the chat. But thank you all so much for the new people showing up. Let me see here. So, some people wanted an update on what went down between Chili and I. And for those who don't know, for those who are fairly new here and have not been to a lot of my live streams. So, for those who don't know, I went down to Tahlequah, Oklahoma, and there was supposed to be Le Pac de Loup, yes, another amazing film incorporating Native American culture, was Brotherhood of the Wolf, or Le Pac de Loup. That's actually based on a legitimate event. There was a supposed giant wolf that was terrorizing an area of France, and this guy was brought in to take care of it. So I do realize I showed that movie to Angela recently. She loved it. So, for those who don't know, I went down to Tahlequah, Oklahoma, so that I could engage with Chili De Castro. Now, typically, frauditor stuff is not something that I cover on this channel. I debunk woo, I go after theist arguments, I go after extremist Christianity, I go after evangelists, stuff like this, who are espousing really, really dumb stuff. And I went down there. I had to. He was in the state that I live in. He wasn't that far away. It was like an hour. It was like almost 2 hours away. I was like, I can just get up early in the morning, flip down there, and see what happens. So I went down and I engaged with Chili, and it kind of was like all over the place because I initially encountered him at a gas station. And as a matter of fact, let me ask you this: if you haven't seen it, do you want me to just pull up? Do you want me to just pull up the video footage? I still have the video footage on my computer. So I'm pretty sure I do. I'm pretty sure I still have it. I mean, I can walk you through it, but you may want to watch something instead of actually hearing me talk about this stuff. I know I've got it here. It's going to take me a second to find it. Or let me know. If you want to see it. I know a bunch of people probably already saw it. We probably don't need to go through it again. But let me see here. What the hell did I do with that? Oh, I got too much stuff on this. The folders, all of the folders of my created content are all in one place, and they're getting it's getting a lot. Like I have a folder for all of the source material for all of my created content, and all of those folders. I'm getting so many of them. They're all in, and all of those folders are in one folder as well. But let me see here. I know it's got to be here. No, that was Atheist Debunk. That's more emojis. Kyle Butt. That's a dude I've debunked in the past. It's got to be here. Damn it. You know what? I've got it. Hang on a sec. I think I know where it's at. A, B. I'll look there. Chili, nope. That boy is such an idiot. He really, really is. You know what? I did. I shared it with. Let me see here. Haley says, I made a comment on Chili's last vid, and he replied to me really negatively, calling me names, etc., instead of just discussing my point. That's what he does. That's effectively what he does. That's pretty much his modus operandi. So, if I go to my drive, and then I pull up, where's it at? Can't believe I'm doing this. It's kind of, last minute. Oh, here we go. All right, let me get this shared so we can take a look at it for those who don't know. Awesome. While that's doing that, let me say hi to anybody who happened to have popped in. Jack Burns says, dude looks like a typical middle-aged gym bro. Go for takedown, pin, and gas him out. Yeah, I doubt he has any gas whatsoever. I'm looking forward to the fight with him. He's going to be in a scrap with an actual officer of the law, who Legicator on YouTube. He's going to be scrapping him in September in Kentucky. I'll be going to that, so I'll be checking that out. Angel Rivera says, please don't let your movie be, please let your movie not be about the chupacabras. It is not about chupacabras. Absolutely not. That was that. And then Tony Regime says, it's going to be Johnny O in a red wig as a red-haired giant living in a cave in the Grand Canyon, isn't it? No, it will not. That's hilarious, though. The Deborah debacle. Leanne Hubbard, thank you so much for being here, says, forever known as the Deborah debacle. Probably. I don't know if he's raised any money for the fight, Bob. I do not. Most likely he's going to try it. He's going to try and do it. Oh, Rebel, thank you so much. Rebel is a new member of the Godless Army. Thank you so much, Rebel. I do appreciate the support. And please enjoy all of the emojis that have now unlocked for you. I hope you like them. Thank you very much. Doctor Who Designs here. Good to see you, Doctor Who Design. Thanks so much for hanging out. Do appreciate it. And Vert de Ferk is here. Says, hello, JL in chat. Good to see you, Vert de Ferk. Thank you so much. And Skooma Cat as well. Thank you so much, Skooma Cat. Do appreciate you being here. Okay, I think I got that download. Yep, there we go. And move this here to there. And I apologize in advance. I had to do some editing because I was filming in flurf mode, so please don't crucify me. I already explained this one time before. When you're trying to do something like this with somebody live or with somebody when you're trying to record them, it's the phone is less cumbersome in vert mode instead of in landscape mode. Portrait mode just makes it easier to film. It makes it easier to adjust. So, Mr. Fortwitch says, religion has forgotten the meaning of faith. Honestly, I mean, to my personal opinion, I see what you're saying there. But honestly, faith should be dropped. Nobody should have faith in anything. Now, you can have confidence, and you can have varying levels of confidence, because confidence is a sliding scale. You know, you have confidence that a thing will occur. You have no confidence that a thing will occur. You have a little bit of confidence a thing will occur. Okay? You have confidence, trust. These things are based on evidence. And that you can predicate them on, you can predicate the level of your confidence or trust, or even hope, based on evidence. But faith in and of itself is not evidence-based, it's purely emotional-based, and should be dropped when trying to make determinations about things that are true. I would prefer faith be used to be like, faith is what you have when you have low confidence. You know, you kind of like, you can hope in that respect, but faith is not a good thing. Because faith can be manipulated by external sources. Faith can be manipulated by external sources without you knowing it. Faith can be misplaced in things. You can put your faith in the wrong person, faith in the wrong thing. You know, faith is easily swayed by your emotions, how you feel. This is why denominations exist. Because people can, leave a denomination, create a new denomination. This is the problem with faith. When you go by evidence, then you eliminate all of these problems with faith. So I don't think faith should be used in anything. Let me see here. Bob Nadell says, Chili's all about the First Amendment, yet he blocks anyone that exercises free speech rights. Exactly. If they're dissenting against him, then he doesn't want to hear it. Alex Ebal is here. Good to see you. All the way from Houston. Good to see you, Alex. Thanks so much for hanging out. Do appreciate it. All right, so how about we share this? I'll share this video file. For those who have not seen it, I know some of you have, but I know that this is entertaining. So, this is me. I was in Tahlequah. I was in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. and we were outside a gas. I was sitting outside. I was parked outside a gas station called the Outpost. And so the reason I was parked there is because I was supposed to, I was shown up for a demonstration. There was going to be a public demonstration that this woman, Deborah, was going to put on. You'll see her later on in the vid. That Deborah was going to put on because she was upset about a jurisdictional, that she believed there was a jurisdictional issue regarding her recent DUI arrest. And she wanted to complain that in her mind, the Cherokee Nation doesn't exist in her mind, that it is a fraudulent organization, that they're recognized but they don't have an official charter, which is a lie. That they're not, they're not official. So it's absolutely just ridiculous. So hey, Christo, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Delete Laws replied, process use, spoken like the relative. Oh, he's such a d-hole. He's such a douche. Yeah, can't stand it. Yeah, Jack Burton. Faith is just another F word in Christian apologetics, it seems. So, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Do appreciate it, Christo. So, here we are. So, here I was parked. And the reason I was parked is I was the first one there. The demonstration was supposed to start at 8 o'clock. I got up and was a little late getting up, and I didn't arrive in Tahlequah until 8:45. So I showed up at 8:45. No one is there. The time that this was being recorded was roughly almost 10 o'clock in the morning. I had been chilling out and finally got in touch with Deborah on Facebook and figured I was like, oh, everybody was late. I was like, okay, fantastic. So I was the first one there. And then AJ arrived. AJ arrived, I think, shortly after me or maybe shortly before me. But anyway, we both thought it was going to be, at 8 o'clock, but it wasn't. So I'm hanging out, and I decided to have some breakfast because I skipped breakfast running out the door. So I'm sitting in my car having breakfast, and lo and behold, Chili De I almost called him castration, but Chili De Castrated shows up. He parked in the bay behind me by one of the pumps, and gets out and he goes into the shop. He goes into the store. I don't know what he was doing. He was in there for a very long time, but I happened to spy him. I happened to see him hanging out. One sec.
The legend in his own mind.
So yeah, I happened to see him inside the window. He finally came out and I had to get a little dig at him. He was the legend in his own mind.
I'll get my email. A message.
So eventually, yeah, this is boring to see me watch looking at the screen. Did I see? There he is. There he is coming up.
Here he is. The legend in his own mind.
What's
up, dude? I messaged you before. I'm JL from Bridge the Divide. I don't know if you recall getting my email. You responded to it briefly.
So I apologize that I don't have him on camera right now. He got up really, really close to me, and I didn't want to have my hands up in his face. So this is the whole thing. I don't typically do this. So keep it I didn't want him walking up and me sticking the camera right there in his face. I didn't want to be obnoxious. So my hands instinctively went down. And then I realized I probably should have him on camera. So I eventually back up. Let's see, the guy in the F-150 is from Eufaula. His name is Timothy Clark. I did get that, Mr. for Twitch. I appreciate that. Chili says he raided money for Deborah. He did say he raised money for Deborah. So apparently he was putting his makeup on in the bathroom, probably. But most likely, yes, Rasheen. I believe that Chili raised money for Chili. What he was essentially doing. And the jurisdiction scheme will not work, and she will be. And yeah, it's not. The whole thing is going to get dismissed. And her trial is actually on the 22nd at 8:30 down in Tahlequah. I don't know if Chili will be back for that, but that's when she's going to. But her trial is at 8:30 in the morning in Tahlequah, Deborah versus the Cherokee Nation. But she's going to be down there trying to make that argument. The judge is just going to dismiss it because it has no grounds. So here I was talking with Chili. I approached him because I wanted to ask him a question. So I apologize if he's not I get him back on camera here in a moment. Come on. Why is that playing?
Got family up here?
Yes, I do.
Brothers and sisters?
mean, I happen to live up here, so I heard that you were going to be out here in Tahlequah for the demonstration that Deborah is doing.
Oh, and one more apology. I understand that I mispronounced Tahlequah a number of times. This is because I grew up in Southern California, and every time I tried to say the name Tahlequah, I kept thinking Temecula, because Temecula was literally like 30 minutes from where I used to live in California. So, and I used to spend a lot of time there. My grandmother loved to gamble. We'd like to go to Temecula. So I apologize. You are going to hear me mispronounce Tahlequah a number of times. So my apologies. Oh,
That you can answer regarding like what you do, you know, like regarding like how you kind of go about your business, if you have the time.
Are you from here?
Yeah.
Are you from Oklahoma? You're
Yeah.
racist? That's cool, man. You got family up here?
Yes, I do.
Brothers and sisters and stuff like that?
Well, my in-laws.
Your mom and dad still live here?
No, my dad's dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Mine passed in 2014.
So
He died of heart complications.
I didn't want to. He was trying to, I guess, take it off track.
I wasn't really doing interviews right now, but I'm glad you came, grabbed your camera, and you got me on camera, and this will probably get you some views.
well, it's not about getting views. It's about addressing.
Kinda.
No, not really, because I'm not live at the moment. So my curiosity.
If you just put me on video, you're going to get views.
No, I know. I want your response. I want your response to this.
Yeah, but you didn't say, "Hey, man, let's sit down and talk." You didn't introduce
I did. I did
but
before.
You just started filming like.
Well, it's the only way. It's
There
the
goes
only.
the legend in his own mind. You said.
It's the only way to. It's the only way to catch you. So, but ultimately, I mean, the reason.
So Chili did not like me just popping out of nowhere and putting him on camera. He didn't like me ambushing him. But this is what Chili does. Chili ambushes the people that he engages with. He ambushes the police when he jumps out of his car and he goes after him with his camera, especially when he's not even involved in the stop. Chili doesn't like his own tactics being thrown back at him. And I wanted to this is part of the thing I wanted to demonstrate, that he does not dig this. So why is it having trouble playing?
Well, it's the only way.
There
It's
goes
the
the
only.
legend in his own mind. You said.
It's the only way to. It's the only way to catch you. So, but ultimately, I mean, the reason I'm asking, the reason I wanted to ask you or catch you is because
It'll go this way the rest of my life. So I kind of get used to guys like you.
that's fantastic. But the reason why I asked is that you do realize that the antagonistic approach you take to law enforcement, because it is antagonistic, is that ultimately, if you understand the social contract, that ultimately the only outcome that you're going to get is one of two outcomes, and that is either it's going to be a police state, or it will be a rescinding of those rights that you're using to upstate the social. Well, those are the only two outcomes.
Those are the only two.
Well, how are
There's
you?
no other outcome?
No, I mean, not if you work outside the system. If you work within the
There
system,
couldn't be any other outcome.
only if you work inside the system.
Well, I mean, these are your perceptions. These are your
No, this is the way.
projections.
This is the way it's set up. Is that if you want change, like if you want police reform, if you want law enforcement reform, then you need to put forth a candidate with a grassroots effort or a concerted public effort in order to get a candidate into office that believes in what you espouse, and then goes for heavy duty police reform. But you antagonizing the police using your freedom of speech.
How fast did you get here? How long did it take you to get here?
An hour.
An hour?
So
It was early that morning.
You're just projecting. You know?
How am I projecting?
You're just saying what you think, and then you're.
It's not saying what I think. It's based upon the social. It's based upon the social contract.
It's an observation.
So you explain to me what the social contract
Which
is.
social contract are you talking about?
I'm to the social contract of
Which
living
one?
in this nation.
But which one?
No, the social contract of living in this nation. You explain to me. You explain to me what it is.
Can I ask one of you gentlemen a favor?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
forgot my ID to buy cigarettes. And
Okay.
I said, don't
So this lady came up out of nowhere. For some reason, it was very, very weird. She was in her late 60s, and I guess they carded her to wouldn't sell her cigarettes inside, which was weird. So it was odd. She kind of interrupted, but.
only place. Oh, okay.
And then in the middle of that, Chili walked away.
So doesn't answer the the social contract question. Doesn't, and he just walks away. So couldn't get away fast enough. Couldn't get
And-
away fast enough.
Apparently, that's Timothy, I guess. So eventually,
he may come back.
Eventually, he kind of comes back, or eventually he kind of
we'll see.
asks me what I'm
Didn't
doing.
want to catch those individuals, put them on camera.
I don't know, Jack. I really don't.
So addressing that, I mean,
Let me get in my car without me filming my car. Is that all right?
I already got pictures of your car, so it's all good. So I'm curious. Do you have a?
I took pictures of his car, specifically his license plate, because I didn't know how he was going to react. If he suddenly flew off the handle and came at me, and in the aftermath, I want to make sure that I had pictures of his license plate.
Response? So you don't have a response? Huh? So I mean, it's not a stumping deal. It's like you're a constitutional law scholar apparently, even though you never cite the Federalist Papers.
You gave me my parameters, and then you said this is the only option. You got me.
No, I'm saying that you have two outcomes that you can get to.
Let me back my car out of the sun real quick. So I'm getting cooler. It's cooler weather.
So then I went back to my car while he was moving. He moved his car to be back around to go around over to the. And oh, you don't need to see the inside of my car. My car's dirty. My car's messy. So then he was hanging out over there in front of the F-150.
And apologies for this being in flurf mode.
See, I knew what I was doing. Haley, he is such a vomit. He is. Okay, so he eventually.
I'm engaged. You're talking to somebody else. I don't know if they want to be on camera, so I didn't want to approach. But I'm waiting for you.
Jack,
I'm paying him the respect.
Chili De Leprechaun. I took that as an invitation to come over.
I mean, ultimately, do you have an answer to the question that I asked? I'm sure inquiring minds want to know.
What's your goal?
My goal is to hear you answer this question.
But I mean,
Is that
forget
simple?
This, man. You just
No,
walk-
not forgetting
you
this.
Just walk up to me
This
and
is
say, I'm going to ask you questions. You have
this
to
is
answer them.
important.
But let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
What's your goal?
My goal is to get you to answer this question because I don't think you
So
fully
me-
understand
me-
the implications of
me
what you
answering
do.
Your questions is what you want. That's what you know.
No, I want you to answer this question.
That's what you want.
This question, the only question I've asked you.
And
Because
wanted-
I don't think
I
you
asked
fully grasp the implications of what you do. Either that or you do and you're just a troll.
Oh, I'm a troll.
No, it's one or the other. I'm not deciding on any one particular thing. But what you do is antagonistic. What you did in McAllister is antagonistic. I spoke with that officer.
Oh, you did?
Okay? So what you did in McAllister was antagonistic. And I'm curious, when you act in an antagonistic fashion and you push the boundaries of the rights that you have, the state or the government, federal government or the state otherwise, has no choice but to either curtail or rescind those rights in order to maintain the social order. That's a part of the social contract. We sacrifice some liberties so that they can maintain the social order. So my curiosity is this.
Very simple concept.
Why not use efforts in which you try to put forward political activists into office so that you can get the laws passed that you want passed, so you can get the reforms passed that you want passed? Why be antagonistic? Why work outside the system? Because the only thing that's going to happen when you work outside the system is for the system to pull back the rights and not allow you to work that way anymore. So how do you justify that?
You got it. You nailed it. I mean,
Well, I guess I nailed it. That was pretty much it. That was as succinct as I could possibly put it. Let me see. Nietzsche Marie is here. Good to see you, Nietzsche. Thanks so much for being here. Lolly77 as well. Pinky in the air. Yeah, absolutely. He's such a weird one. Let's see here. And I saw Roisin says he missed his calling as a televangelist or infomercial presenter. Strange Lex is here. Good to see you, Strange Lex. Says, I think he may have listened to you. His new rhetoric seems to fall in line with what you were trying to tell him. He still has it wrong, but he is pivoting somewhere. I think I agree with you. I actually agree with you. It was weird because he actually used some of my terminology in the video that he did after this when he went back there the next day before she went in to go talk to, he was there hanging outside, and in that he mentioned like bridging divides between him and the police, and I was like, that's really weird. So he started using that to his benefit. He has since kind of slid off of that, but apparently he was listening, I guess. Yeah.
Well, you're the one who espouses that you have all this knowledge about this, yet you act in a way that countermands your...
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. Cohen versus California.
So you espouse one thing, but you act in a way that countermands your message. So I'm curious how you reconcile this.
What does countermands mean?
It means that it is antagonistic to what you're attempting to accomplish. You appear to want to accomplish police reform. Okay? The way to accomplish police reform is to put people into office that will pass legislation that pushes police reform. Okay? That, higher oversight or whatever.
What's police reform?
It'd be greater oversight, public committee. I don't know what form it takes, but it doesn't matter. You're not doing
this. This is all irrelevant.
How is this system working out? Is this system
well, then you put the people in office that you want to change the system.
That's my hair. That's okay.
So that's what you did. That's how you work within the system, and you don't work antagonistically. JL.
Hey, JL, Chili. Nice to meet you.
I'm good.
Oh, you don't want to shake my hand?
No, I don't want to shake your hand.
You just want to run up and interview me? Okay. Cool. This is going to get you some views on your channel. What's the name of your channel?
Can't bridge the divide.
Bridge the divide, dude. Good.
So.
That's good. Well, hopefully this gets you some views. What's that? Okay.
Okay, so that's Deborah in the truck.
He doesn't seem to grasp it.
Virgin Ferguson, he's such a putz. He kind of is. He really is. Hello, baby. That works both ways. Good to see you. Thanks so much for hanging out. Do appreciate it. Stephen Caparese says, Chili De Castro is the ultimate waste of skin. Utterly pointless example of human biology. Just squash him, scrape him off, move on. Only way to deal with a cockroach like him. Nikki Marie says, it's amazing how he closes his mouth when he's confronted with an intelligent question from an intelligent person that clearly knows what he's five. That clearly knows. So I just wanted to pose this. He later on, we're going to get into the social contract thing, and he's going to try and bring up a bunch of irrelevant crap. I'm basically just talking about the standard philosophical argument for it. Essentially, that we agree to give up certain liberties. The kind of like unwritten contract that we give up certain liberties so that the governing authority, whether it's appointed by vote or whatever. But so the governing authority can maintain the social order. That's all it is. That's literally Rousseau. And he wanted to bring in all kinds of other stuff like governing socioeconomic ideologies and governance ideologies that make use of the social contract to apply in different ways. But I'm just talking about the very basic thing. Using your rights to do action and then pushing those rights to such an extreme that those rights are then rescinded or are curtailed and rescinded in order to protect the social order. That's all it was. And he did not seem to be able to grasp it, or if he did, like it was pointed out, he kind of like changed up his position a little bit and changed his argument the very next day, which was weird, which was extremely weird. And oh yeah, so and Bob and Dale's Gyroscope says what? No insults from Chili? Not a single insult. He didn't insult my appearance. He didn't insult my weight. He didn't insult anything. He wasn't aggressive in any way. I'll admit, I was the more aggressive one, but he wasn't aggressive by any stretch of the imagination. So that didn't go down until much later. Hey, S. Beaufort. Thank you so much. New member of the Godless Army. Yeah, some old dude gifted out 10 memberships to the Godless Army. I do appreciate it. Thank you, some old dude. Really do appreciate it. Hope you all enjoy the new emojis and, of course, the channel badges. Oh, Flat Derp's in the house. Good to see you, Flat Derp. What up?
He doesn't seem to grasp it.
Yeah.
Here, Bartlesville. It's not about getting views. It's about you getting. Don't touch me. It's about you.
You walked up to me. I just put my hand on your shoulder.
I did not engage with you physically. I didn't engage with you physically, Chili. Don't touch me. I don't care. I don't care. You didn't have permission to touch me, but nonetheless, answer the
You seem
question.
like you're a little triggered, dude. Are you all
Answer
right?
the question.
Are you okay?
I'm the one smiling. Answer the
You seem
question,
like you're
Chili.
triggered.
See?
I don't want you to be.
So you're
triggered.
deflecting.
It's a Monday morning. It's a nice day.
So you're deflecting.
I didn't schedule an interview with you, so I'm not
I don't
really-
care.
Okay.
I'm allowed to do this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can walk
so,
up anything you want.
right.
But you could, if you also engage with someone, they give you a tap on the shoulder, say, "Hope you have a good day." You get all bristly.
no, I just don't want. I don't want
You're
your. I don't
standing
want.
right
I
next
don't
to
want
me.
your meat beaters on me.
Standing right next to me.
I don't want your meat beaters on me.
Meat beaters.
Okay, so
What's a meat beater?
so are you going to answer the question?
What's that meat beater?
And this is when the manager came out. So the manager came out.
Well, having a conversation with him. Your arguments don't follow. So, do you have an
Tap
answer?
on the shoulder, shake your hand, but you're a little bit.
Do you have?
Can we turn this off and go on our way?
Absolutely.
You got a gift. Listen, have a great day today. Okay.
And
No,
we did.
I'm going to
and-
drive over there and meet you.
So this was now outside of the Keeler Tribal Complex. So the Keeler Tribal Complex is the tribal headquarters for the Comanche Nation. It's in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, and this is the primary entrance area. And then around the side was the entrance to the council chambers. So that's where I guess all their important officials, they all enter into this was the public entrance. And so he was chilling out here, I guess waiting for things. I don't know.
A.L. Warren.
Bridge the Divide. That's the name of the channel.
Because there's two Bridge the Divides. There's a music one. There's a music one, and then there's mine. Which
And then Bridge,
Hey.
Bridge the Divide with the 200.
there was supposed to be a public demonstration here today, and I guess we are early. So
Is this one yours? The Bridge the Divide right there? Is that yours?
no, that's the music channel. There's another one
Angel
that's
Rivera.
the commentary one.
This true Haley only gets aggravated and angry when there's someone to back him up, like the police.
He's got a call that some people were into it over the gas station.
Oh yeah, I spoke with the manager over there and clarified what was going on.
Which one's yours?
The top one.
With the 150, with the 1.68 thousand. 1.68
He's pointing out my
thousand
channel,
subs?
yeah. So he was just commenting that my channel was considerably smaller than his.
We've been on the phone conversation with him. I guess the way he's putting on.
So so you want to address the question that I posed to you?
Yeah.
And just straight ignores me.
Have you thought about maybe doing like a different setup for your channel? Have you thought about like creating a solid background? Creating a almost like because your channel's, how new is your channel?
No, I've been around a minute.
Been around for a minute.
So, but my topic is not it's not my channel. I don't want you to deflect.
Why don't you put up like your?
I don't need to take advice from you.
Put up a
I don't
background.
need to. So.
And then create and establish.
I don't need to.
A normal thing.
So
for
the question that
yourself.
I posed to you regarding your behavior in regards to the social contract.
Well, you may have a skewed perception of the social contract, and whose social contract are you referring to?
The one that we abide by here in the United
So
States.
Whose is that?
One that we abide by here in the United
Which one-
States.
Whose is that?
It's not whose it is, it's the one that we
So what he's referring to essentially is the somebody just messaged me. Oh no, okay. So he's referring to the version that essentially was utilized by the Lockean version of the social contract, which is what we essentially base the Declaration of Independence on. So he's going to that, but I'm simply trying to stick with the Rousseau, the philosophical argument there. Is all I'm not trying to do. It doesn't matter what country you're in. Whereas if you were in post-war Russia where it's communism or Marxism or Leninism or whatever, it doesn't matter where you are. There's the basic premise of the social contract is still intact. That there's the governing body and then there's the populace, and that there has to be a give and take between the two in order to maintain the social order. He wants to deflect over into socioeconomic things by bringing up like Marxism, or he never actually brought up Lockean, but I just wanted to address the Rousseau position, and he didn't want to address that. So he keeps trying to deflect and come off of it in order to get away from it. I'm assuming he either knew what I was asking, he didn't want to address it because he didn't want it getting out there, or he didn't really know it. He was an idiot. Tom Robertson is here. Good to see you, Tom Robertson. He wants you to quote one of the two people he studied because that is all he knows, and the chid on you if you don't. Yeah, this is true. Absolutely.
It's not my channel. I don't want you to deflect.
Why don't you put up like your?
I don't need to take advice from you. I don't need to. So
and then create and establish.
I don't need to.
A normal thing.
So the question that I posed to you regarding your behavior in regards to the social contract.
Well, you may have a skewed perception of the social contract, and whose social contract are you referring to?
The one that we abide by here in the United States.
Whose is that?
One that we abide by here in the United States.
Whose is that?
It's not whose it is. It's the one that we abide by.
There are different social contracts.
No, there isn't. There's a social contract to live here in this nation.
No, you're afraid you're mistaken.
Yes, there is. There's a social contract that you abide by.
Your name was JL, right?
JL, yes.
So if you're talking, you can't learn.
You have nothing to teach me.
Well, what
Okay.
social contract do we live under here?
We live under the social contract.
There's several social contracts.
Okay. What dictates the multiple social contracts?
Well, each social
Which is going to show
contract-
you don't understand what it is.
Well, you can't talk and learn at the same time, and you need to learn. So there's multiple social contracts. Marxism is a social contract.
No, it's not. No, it's
Kant
not.
is
Marxism is a socioeconomic theory.
Social contract.
Okay.
Locke wrote a social contract.
That's the Lockean one. That's the Lockean one that we primarily derived the Declaration of Independence from, was using Lockean's take on it, which also had socioeconomic aspects to it. Still getting away from the Rousseau concept, from the basic philosophical argument. So this goes on for a second, and then
He was in McAllister, so he was in
And so-
McAllister, the other republic,
So-
and this is a capitalistic society. But the elected governing body can maintain the social order.
Are you talking
That
about-
is the the unwritten social contract we all agreed to live in this nation.
It's written. It's
he's not that big of a dude. He really isn't. He's not that big of a guy. Yeah, he definitely. Yeah, yes, Rudy. He talks like he's 17 years old. This is true. Very, very limited knowledge. And Astrid Senders is here. Good to see Astrid Senders, another member of the Godless Army. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Oh, Mr. For Twitch is also a new member of the Godless Armies. Chili needs to learn that he can't talk and learn at the same time. This is very, very true. All of this so he doesn't have to answer a question. So anyway, so he continued on. This
You
continued on for-
antagonize relevant to the conversation.
So then, this is when. So when I was talking to him, I admit I'm kind of a big guy, and while it was when we were out there, it was hotter than hell. It was very, very hot, and unfortunately, my shirt kind of rode up in the back, and he had, I guess, one of his friends. I think it was one of the people that were with him snuck up behind me and took a picture of my butt crack. So, and this is what Chili is showing me right now. He showing me a picture of my butt crack so that he can say maybe you should wear a belt. So. But I'm a big dude, so it's nothing I wasn't even aware of it until Chili came up and did this.
Just a heads up on that.
So then Chili goes inside, and then we have a really, really decent chat with this gentleman who is one of the tribal officers on site, who pretty much explained the jurisdictional problem that Deborah is facing, is that there is a cross-deputization agreement between the Cherokee Nation and the city of Tahlequah, and that their deputies are allowed to operate in Cherokee territory and Cherokee officers are allowed to operate in their territory, so that they have enough deputies to cover the entire area. Because separated, they didn't have enough. Tahlequah had too many, and the Cherokee Nation didn't have enough. So now they kind of like spread the responsibility around. Unfortunately, Wharf Bear, I cannot post that crack photo. It was not sent to me.
The traveling out, like I'm traveling.
And technically, I guess you're not the Kal-El Cool J. You're not the first person to bring up that it's classified as sexual harassment. I have no idea, but yeah, yes, you're right. Hello, baby. He went as low as possible. It's pretty much who it was. So it's pretty much what he was. That sounds like Timothy Clark taking butt photos, Mr. For Twitch. That's hilarious. Yeah. So we had this really great chat with this one tribal officer who explained the whole cross-deputization between the Cherokee Nation and the city of Tahlequah. And so we chatted about that, and then Chili was about to set up his demonstration.
Cool.
And that's when we were all hanging out. And so this is setting up in front of this. That's Deborah on the side. And he's setting up to go live.
It's not
But so they were asked. Okay, so they were asked to move their demonstration from the front public entrance and to go around to the side towards the council chambers entrance. And so we went around to the side, and where we were at. Let's see if I get to it. That's when they were moving. Yeah.
Trying to interfere.
AJ was with me. Okay, now for some context, AJ thought it would be hilarious. Jack Burton, Deborah got a dump truck. Hey yo, it's hilarious. So AJ, who was with me, and AJ is amazing. The dude was great. AJ took it upon himself to play music from his phone while Chili was doing this. He played the Jaws theme when all we could see was Chili's head behind the little center column area, which I thought was hilarious. And then he played the Eagles theme late. He played I think it was Hotel California. I think he played Hotel California later on, but he played the Eagles. And so the whole intention was to do a counter demonstration to Chili's demonstration. And we weren't close to him. We weren't that far away. We always said we were. I think we were about 50 feet away from him, from where he was, and we were just there. So he was playing his music, but he wasn't playing it so loud to be a nuisance. But he was playing it loud enough to be heard, and we were having some fun with it. And so this
has found that.
So he's trying to do the live stream right now.
Has found that the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma has a recognized tribe, but not an approved tribe.
And yes, you're right, Fred Knotts. The Eagles don't play with copyright.
And that's in your motion.
That's the Jaws theme he's playing.
I may go Hotel California.
The judge is going to deny the motion because otherwise it ends the Cherokee Nation. So he's going to deny the motion. And now
Ends the Cherokee Nation. That's brilliant.
Okay, I don't want to make sure I play too much of it because
Ends the Cherokee.
Trying to interfere with other people's rights.
I'm going to be on Chili's channel. I'm not going to be that famous. Maybe
So he's playing Hotel California in the background.
900 views.
Trying to interfere with.
this is where you told me to come record my video. So he's
We're trying to have.
Okay, so that's Chili going to get a hold of the tribal officers.
I'm not running it. I'm approach subject.
Disturbing the peace in a second. It's escalating. It's going to become a
I'm not disturbing the peace.
He's running an audio, so I can't record my video. This is where you told me to come record my video. So he's causing.
We're trying to have a
Is-
conversation.
Hank-
and you're interfering.
Is he? He's saying. Is there a? He is.
So
He
this
is.
is when-
He is. He is. Why are you touching me?
Okay. So what happened here is that while Chili was standing over there talking to Tracy, well, Tracy Robertson was that guy. When he was talking to Officer Tracy, he made the comment that Tracy told him that I can't make them go away. They have as much right to be here and do what they do as you do. And so he was, if it's a counter demonstration, there's nothing that he can do as long as they're not disturbing the peace and banging on windows and stuff and being insane. They can be there. And so Chili took it upon himself. He made the comment. So I can just go over there and I'm just going to go over and slap his phone out of his hand. Oh, thank you so much, Julie LaPointe, for 10 Freedom Dollars. Thank you so much. That will go into the travel fund. I do appreciate that. So yes, anything else? So for the road trip, going out to see Chili get his butt kicked, because there's some hotel expenses and some gas expenditures. It's a 12.5-hour trip. So, and of course, sightseeing, so I can bring you guys more content. So I'm going to go and look at some really, really cool stuff. So I do appreciate that. Thank you so much, Judy. All of that helps very much. So he goes over. So he made the comment that he could slap AJ's phone out of his hand, and then when Chili made the beeline for AJ. So when Chili made the beeline
No, I didn't.
for AJ,
Here.
If you, yeah, go on.
so he went.
What are you running for?
I'm not running out. I'm approaching subject.
And this was that was Timothy trying to put his hand in front of my camera.
It's going to become a
I'm not disturbing the peace.
He's running an audio, so I can't record my video. This is where you told me to come record my video, so he's causing
We're trying to have a
Is-
conversation.
Hang-
and you're interfering.
Is he? You say? Is he? Is there a? He is. Why are you touching me?
Okay.
Why are you touching me?
Hey, listen, you're in my face.
Why
bro.
are you touching
You're in
me?
my face.
You're in his face.
You're in my face.
Why
bro.
are you touching
You're in
me?
my face.
Why are you touching me? You made bodily contact with me, as evidenced by this gentleman here.
If you wanted to, I could throw you on the
No,
ground.
you couldn't.
In about 3 seconds.
No, you
flat.
couldn't.
I could destroy
That's-
your ass.
No, you couldn't.
It would take me
So
3 seconds.
you're
to
threatening
just
him right
No,
now?
you could. Is he threatening me?
No, I'm telling you, it
You're
would take me
threatening
3
him.
seconds. Is how long it would take me.
Really?
You're a fat, out of shape slob, bro.
Really?
Look how fat you are. You're so out of shape and fat. It's disgusting.
Meanwhile, the tribal officer is present, standing next to us for all of this. So obviously, Chili wanted to goad me into taking a swing at him or to do something that would invariably get me arrested for assault. Obviously, because I turned and I looked at Trey and said, "He's threatening me. You hear him threatening me." And so that was me actually talking to Tracy directly. And right now, at this point, my phone is out to the side, unfortunately, because my hands were wide out to the side. Because when he was beelining for AJ, I stepped in between because I wasn't sure what AJ was doing. I didn't want him running up on AJ and surprising him, and AJ accidentally like tripping or falling. Or when accidents happen, that's when people really get hurt. So I quickly beelined in between. I was kind of like, in my train of thought was like, room for the Holy Ghost. No. So I put my hands wide out in order to keep him from trying to swing on AJ or knock his phone out of his hand. So I put my hands out, and unfortunately my phone was in my hand, so I didn't capture like the best footage of this. However, Chili did have his phone in my face, and at this point he is literally like, at this point right now in the video, I think he was like almost nose to nose with me. So he was in my face, had his camera like right. I think on his footage, the camera's like really is like capturing my eye. He's got it stuck in my face so closely. But yeah, so unfortunately, they can't arrest people to fight threats. But Tracy did come in and separate the two of us.
Out of shape slob, bro.
Really?
Look how fat you are. You're so out of shape and fat. It's disgusting. Look at
so
you,
you
bro.
think
Why don't
ad
you-
hominem
why don't-
insulting
why don't-
me?
Why don't you lose some weight? You can't control what you put in your mouth. Look
Really?
at you,
So
bro.
this is the best
You're
you
a
have.
joke,
This is
dude.
the best argument
you
you've
can't
got.
control what you eat.
This is
And
the best
you're gonna
argument
get in
you
my
have.
face?
He made bodily contact with me. I would like to press assault charges against him.
He's got.
I want to file charges against him. He made bodily contact with me as
you
witness.
walked into me,
As
bro.
witness. No, I
No,
didn't.
I didn't.
So
I saw that.
as witnessed by this
I
gentleman
got
and y'all, he
witnesses.
made bodily contact with me. I want to press charges against
Oh
him.
bullshit! I have it on camera. You ran into.
No,
me.
you
I
didn't.
was
You
walking-
backed into
you
me.
stepped between
Gentlemen.
Tracy's in charge, not you.
We're all adults.
Yes,
Right.
we
You
are.
walked in my path.
No.
That was hilarious. That's my favorite moment. When he says, the officer is in charge. The officer's in charge. That was my absolute favorite moment. So, okay, I can tell you this, Tom Robertson. I don't know if he had eyeliner on, but I can tell you this. He wears a lot of foundation and concealer. He wears a lot of foundation and concealer. That I can tell you that. Hey, Alex Ebal, I see you're a member of the Godless Army. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. So, yeah. So he acquiesced completely to the officer here. He got very, very brave. He found his fangs when the officer was standing feet from us. And he knew that if I took a swing on him for, like, insulting me, like, this is absolutely, like I'm friggin' 12, that he would get me in trouble. So that's the only reason this is how long it took for him to finally get antagonistic with me. Is when he wanted to get antagonistic, I stood up to him, and then the police were there, and then he was like, oh, now I can do it. Yep. He's got nothing.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. It's on camera, dude.
Lower your voice.
You made contact with me.
then
You
you
engaged
threatened me
contact with me, and you threatened
You
me.
physically ran into me.
I apologize.
You walked right in the back
This
path when I was walking
gaslighting,
up
I'm
to
not
him.
sure, but I want to press charges against this gentleman for making contact with me.
Get out of here, dude. You don't have any charges. I have on camera, dude.
Two of you, back up. Both
Yeah.
of you, back.
Yeah.
Take
I
equal
just-
steps back.
This is what a troll
We're
is.
trying to have a peaceful demonstration.
I'm trying to do a peaceful. This is called a
Understand.
peaceful demonstration.
Understand.
We didn't ask for a physical interaction. With
It
this
was
man.
peaceful until
I
you
walked
made
up to
contact
him
with
and
me.
asked him
I
if he was
advise you to step back, and I've advised you to step back.
Tracy, I'll
Okay?
do whatever you ask me.
We're
to do.
trying to be peaceful and
I'm
they're
trying to
not
have
allowing
I'm
us
just
to
trying
do
to get
so.
my press conference done and leave. I'm not trying
It's not a
to
press conference.
conference.
He's saying that because he's trying to
walking this back.
like
I have it
fame
on
himself
camera.
as a journalist.
I have
and he's not.
witnesses.
on camera too. I turned around.
I have
and
witnesses, and I have it on camera as well. You backed into me.
Also, there is a security camera right above us.
But
up
you,
there
but
on
you
the, up there
initiated.
on the wall.
But Chili, you
with the answer
initiated
that-
on
that
me.
caught it all.
You initiated on me.
I was walking towards him and you walked between us.
I'm allowed to do that. There's space.
I'm not going to physically attack anybody.
Guys,
I'm not going to.
How do we?
It
How do
doesn't
I know
matter.
that?
You made contact with me.
Who sent you here to disrupt this?
You made contact with me, and I'm pressing assault charges.
Are you representatives of the hostage administration?
I don't know what that is, by the way. This administration Timothy's bringing
I
up.
got it on camera too.
I want them to call them
Why don't you answer that question?
I don't need to answer your questions.
Why
Yeah,
are
you
you?
do.
Oh, nobody sent me here. I'm here on my own. I'm here on my own effort.
Are you lying?
Yeah, I was there on my own accord.
Whatever
I was
you guys
there on my
want
own
to do. If
accord.
you need me to separate over here, I'll separate over here. We're not
You can't do this like a dog.
trying to break the wall.
Stand right over there. Guys, stand right over
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
That's good.
All right, JL. So she's just trying to talk about the motion
We're
she's
not
filed.
trying
We
to
worked
have
on
an
it for a
incident.
week.
Yeah, but you assaulted me.
We worked on it for a week.
That's when he was like,
You did.
just chill. At one point, Tracy leaned into me. Was like, "Do you want to press charges against the dude?" And I was like, "Yes." That's when Chili really flipped out. Is when Tracy turned to me and was like, "Do you want to press charges against him?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And then that's when Chili really kind of it really triggered him.
And they're trying to instigate an incident. Do your bid. And we can't. They're playing music.
He's allowed to. It's not disrupting. He's.
Oh, dang! I don't want to get to hear the Eagles. So they were talking. So this talking was going on, and then eventually the marshals showed up.
Fucking vape.
It doesn't matter. You're not allowed.
Statue? Anywhere?
Ask him. I'm not the statue. Yay.
And so
And the marshals have arrived
and so
to
the
address
marshals
the
did
fact
show
that
up,
Chili assaulted me.
and there they are. They're talking to him, getting his statement, doing his thing, and then they came over and they talked to me and AJ, got our statements, and we filed those, and that was pretty much it. And I had to put my phone away because it was so hot I couldn't do both, but I wanted to catch this. So
I'll get your channel information. I can get this one. Some of your videos too.
that's right, Fred. For sure, yeah, that's what Deborah was doing. Or Deborah, whatever, however she pronounces it. So that was the end of that. That's the end of the footage there. So what happened after that is I filled out my statement. AJ filled out his statement. We turned him into, and we gave him to him. So and that was pretty much the end of it. So Chili did his little thing, and then he quickly disappeared. And then he did some commentary after the fact, and when he was driving and doing his live stream. And then I turned around, and then I said bye to AJ, and I went back home. So I've learned a little bit about the process down there in Tahlequah. And so essentially how it goes is that the U.S. the marshals that are down there they operate underneath they don't operate underneath the jurisdiction of the Department of Justice. They operate under the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So technically they're designated by the Department of Agriculture, and so they assist tribal police in matters involving individuals that are not members of the tribe. And so they are down there to assist. Tribal police was on site as well. They called in the marshals to go ahead and handle this. And so marshals will they'll take a report, and they'll take a statement, and they'll file a report, and that report is with the marshal's office, and then that officer will then send that directly to the AG, directly to the Attorney General's office. And then, then it moves on from there. But it moves kind of slowly. So I kept calling because I wanted to get an update, because I never did get a police report. I never did get any kind of report as to what was going on. So I finally got in touch with them yesterday, and the officer who took my statement was Officer Bronson, and I was supposed to talk with him. I scheduled an opportunity to try and talk with him and get some more details, but he never did call me back. So I kept having to call them, and eventually found that there was a filed report and there is a police report regarding the circumstances went down, and I have that police report number. The problem there is that their website for the Cherokee Nation doesn't have a lookup for any information like that. So if you go to CherokeeNation.org, or you go to the AG's office, or you go to the Marshal's office, there's no lookup. There's no database where you can look up what's going on. And so, unless there's I believe that you can look up the current docket, but you can't look up a current police report. You can't get the details. I think you'd have to get through a FOIA request, or I have to go down there to the AG's office and get it myself. But yeah, there is a police report. It is with the AG's office. I have not heard anything yet personally, but eventually, I'm assuming that I will. That eventually they'll get in touch with me and we'll figure out where to go from there. If I have to go back down there for a hearing or something of that nature. So, but there is a police report. His name is on it. My name is on it. The arresting, it wasn't an arresting officer, but the officer on site, that was Officer Bronson. I do have the I do have the report number, so I can do follow-ups with the AG's office to determine what is going to come from there. So that's the latest update in what went down between Chili and me. It's just my understanding that things move a little slowly when it comes to dealings with the tribal authority, which is fine. I'd never dealt with tribal authority before, and so it was just new, but that's pretty much it. Thank you, Judy LaPointe, for another $5 Freedom Dollars. Is more for the travel pod. I may have missed it. Did he get a ticket for touching you? Are you suing him? I'm not going to sue him. That would be a civil case. It would be pointless. He doesn't have anything for me to take, so that would be pointless. I want him cited by tribal authorities. That he did this on tribal property, which was the tribal HQ. I want him ticketed. I want him to. The only repercussions would be. I think I think technically it's a misdemeanor. It's either a misdemeanor. I think it's a misdemeanor C. I just want him to pay the ticket. That's it. I want him cited and ticketed by the court. That he has to pay a fine for doing this. I want him to do that because that's ostensibly what he did. The security footage that's in that building will require a FOIA request to take, a FOIA request to get. And so that will be attached to the security camera that was attached to the building that was overlooking all of us. So the eye in the sky will take a FOIA request to get access to that. But I'm not suing him. I do, and I as far as I know, he wasn't ticketed. I just wanted to go before the court. So that's it. So, but yeah, thank you, Judy LaPointe, for that. I do appreciate that very, very much. Let me see. Bob Nodell's Gyroscope says, you should have asked Chili when he's going back to Ironton to face the charges he has there. I doubt it. And if the Tribal Nation issued a bench warrant for him, I doubt he would return to Oklahoma either. Especially, specifically not this area. Not the central area where he was, where he could possibly be picked up by tribal police and then go before tribal court. So, I don't know. So, maybe that's the last he'll ever be in Oklahoma. I have no idea. So, yeah, but that's pretty much it. And, yeah, incels are pretty gross. Yeah, hey, what's up, Aaron Reese? Good to see you. Thanks so much for being here, bud. Do appreciate it. Hashtag save Charlie. I didn't see his dog. I never saw Chili's dog. I don't know if Chili left the dog in the car, but I can tell you this. If you left the dog in the car, it was like 102 degrees out there while we were standing out there, and about 109 with the heat index. It was ridiculously hot, and if he left that dog in that car, I would be very, very upset. So I really would be. I don't know if he did, but I never saw Charlie. I never saw the dog anywhere. I did see when he came out with that damn trifold. Where he came out with the damn the tri-stand so he could put up his little poster that got made. It's absolutely ridiculous. I wonder how much money he paid or how much how many super chats he used in order to pay for that thing. So, but that's the current update with what's going on between me and Chili. Is that it's in the hands of the AG. I'm going to call the AG on Monday and just give him the police report number and see what the status of it is and see what's going on. I haven't received anything in the mail as of yet. Maybe I'll receive something next week. I don't know, but we will find out. As of now, it stands. Oh dang, my Facebook is blowing up. I invited some people to come on And okay, so let me respond to this guy. So I got a number of people. The Ark of Truth. There's a few individuals that you can't prove to me that he does not exist because I know him personally. you know he knows God personally. It's hilarious. I've been hankering for an atheist or like to talk with a theist. I've been hankering for it. I haven't. They won't. They won't come on live. They just want to use the internet. They want to use the internet so they can be anonymous. They can just run their mouths and then just run away when they're faced with difficult questions. They don't want to show up. That's the whole point. Let me see. My super chat go through? Yes. Oh, well, let me see. I'm pretty sure Nikki. Or was it a... There's Judy's. Nikki, I think what happened is that there's Judy's... There's Judy's and Surf. Oh, Surf gifted 10 Bridge the Divide members. Thank you, Surf. I do appreciate that. The StreamYard doesn't show me everything that comes through, is the problem. So, unfortunately, I didn't see it. So, but Super Chat should come through. Super Chat should pop up. But, membership gifting or milestone milestone deals, those don't come through. I don't get notified on those, so I apologize about that. So if I missed one of those, I do apologize. I'm gonna occasionally pop back to the live deal on YouTube to see if I can pick those up. I thought I had sneezed there for a second. Okay, so apparently, what got my attention over here on YouTube. Over here on Facebook, is there are people who want me to demonstrate how their Abrahamic God does not exist. And essentially that their Abrahamic God does not exist, and that that what they're actually worshiping is a version of deism that is slapped with the Yahweh label. That's all that they've actually done. The biblical Abrahamic God has very, very specific parameters that define what it is. And over time, so if you take that, just from the Bible, don't take anything else, just what the Bible says about God, okay? Because that's where you get your information. That's where all the information comes from about God, is from the Bible. Now, anything you hear beyond this is stuff that people have added on over time. Because if you simply take what's in the Bible, and then you walk through the scientific advancements, our understanding of reality over the centuries, you get to the point where the biblical God, the Abrahamic God that's presented in the Bible, doesn't work. That it defines itself out of existence. And this is because scientifically ignorant and illiterate people are who set the parameters for this God before it was understood that this is a thing that could be that would be impossible. Nikki Marie, thank you so much for $4.99 freedom. Says, here's a little more, have fun, and sue him for his trifold. If I could get my hands on his trifold, I would. I would prop it up as a trophy here in the room. I'll sue him for his trifold. That's hilarious. And man, we should do fuck everything up. Occasionally we do. Occasionally we really, really do. No, it's okay, Kyle. It's all good. So I appreciate you being here, Kyle. So, in essence, if you work solely from the Bible, so it doesn't matter which version of the Bible it is. So if you work solely from the Bible, you get an understanding of what God is. That God is ostensibly all-knowing, that God is all-powerful, that God is all-present, if you want to say omnipresent, or that God is everywhere all at once, and that God is essentially, what was the other one? And is omnibenevolent. That everything God does is good. That all actions God does is good. So God is omnibenevolent, everything He does is good. It's omnipresent, it is at all places, at all times, regardless of where it's at. So God is in the future, God is in the past, God is at all possible moments, and that all God's actions, that God can perform any action so long as it is logically, so long as it is not logically contradictory. God can't make a square circle. God can't make a one-ended stick. Stuff like that. So God can do anything that is logically possible. All actions that God does is good, making it omnibenevolent, and then God is everywhere all at once, and God knows all things. So God knows all true propositions is how that's understood. So anything that is true, any true proposition, is God knows it. Okay? Which means that God ostensibly also knows all of the propositions that are false. It knows what they are. It has awareness of that knowledge, but it knows what is false and it knows what is true. There is no I don't know with God. God knows all, possesses all true propositions. So, if you lay out this God as it's understood, and then you lay out what we understand about reality in and of itself, the way this world works, the biblically defined God cannot exist in this reality. It literally defines itself out of contention. It defines itself out of existence. The reason we know this, and I don't want to go on and on like with the stupid fucking Facebook videos, which are really, really annoying, that just, draw it out as long as possible, is because of physics, of what we understand about physics, and what we understand about the uncertainty relations of quantum mechanics and how they relate to the second law of thermodynamics. Okay? So, the second law of thermodynamics is true. It always holds true. We understand it holds true. It has physical properties. The second law of thermodynamics can be measured. We understand it implicitly. It is a law. Okay? The second law of thermodynamics hinges on one major thing: that the uncertainty relations in quantum mechanics hold true. The uncertainty relations in quantum mechanics are that there are some things that you cannot know. Primarily, you cannot know the position and velocity of any given particle simultaneously. This is not information you can know. You can know the velocity or you can know the position, but you cannot know both. The second law of thermodynamics hinges upon the uncertainty relations in quantum mechanics being true. Okay? There's a paper that I cite on this that this is how it works out. So, if you were to violate the uncertainty relations in quantum mechanics, you would then violate the second law of thermodynamics. This would be a legitimate change that we could detect. And because let me make sure I pull it up so I can quote it precisely. And I'll actually put a link to this so other people can see it as well. Here's a link to the paper. Oh, dang it, that didn't work. Hang on a sec. No, hang on. 2 seconds. Let me actually find the DOI. There we go. Boom. Ignore that last one. There we go. There's the link you need. The latest link that I put in there, this is where this comes from. A violation of the uncertainty principle implies a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. We show that violating, in this paper, they show that violating the uncertainty relations of quantum mechanics leads to a thermodynamic cycle with positive network gain. Okay? That is not something that can occur in reality. That is a complete reversal of how this universe works. So, the question then becomes, and the reason that what I'm coming from is that if God is all-knowing, and God knows all true propositions, and God is operating within this universe, God's omniscient nature would have a demonstrable effect on our reality because it would know the true proposition of what the particle's velocity and position are. That's the point. So God's omniscience, his omniscient nature, violates the uncertainty relations in quantum mechanics, which then in turn violates the second law of thermodynamics, leading to a thermodynamic cycle of positive network gain. This is not a thing that can occur. So, does this ostensibly say that God does not exist? No. What it does state is that God, as it's defined in the Bible, cannot exist. Because the conclusions we can draw from this observation about reality and how the definitional God of the Bible cannot apply to it, it does not work with this. The two literally are antagonistic. Is that if God exists, if God exists, then God has these powers and is deliberately obfuscating them from us. So in essence, it's violating the second law of thermodynamics, but then using its power to obfuscate that and make it look like it's not actually happening, which means God would be deliberately hiding itself from us, which would be a malicious action, because that would not be benevolent, because more knowledge leads to better understanding. That's a benevolent action. This would not be benevolent. God would not be omnibenevolent. God is not. That essentially is dystheism. Okay? That is not a benevolent God, because God is lying to us effectively. Lying through obfuscation. So, that can't be. So that's dystheism. The second one is deism. The entity does exist, it's not really omniscient, and it created everything, but doesn't really interact with us, and is just kind of like out there in the universe somewhere. So it kicked the football on the universe, and then pissed off and left no evidence of its existence. That's deism. That's basic garden variety deism. So you've either got dystheism, God is there, and it's deliberately hiding the empirical effects of its nature to us, which would mean that it is not omnibenevolent, therefore not the biblical God. It's deism, the God simply created everything and then just pissed off. It's sufficiently powerful enough and then just did this and then just ran away. Or 3, atheism. This thing does not exist. What we observe is simply the result of a natural process, and there was no agential mind behind any of this. Those are your 3 logical conclusions. Notice how one of them doesn't say that the God exists, and atheism doesn't entail that a God is not. It simply entails no belief in a God. It means that belief in this thing is not warranted. So your 3 logical options are atheism, deism, and dystheism. But the Abrahamic God, as understood from the Bible, cannot persist with this. Abrahamic God has been debunked. That is because modern-day Christians today do not argue for this version of God. They argue for a version of the God that has been manipulated to the point that it is no longer the biblical God, it is just deism. Because they need to alter the God to fit around the logical entailments of what we understand about reality. You have to slide through the swords of logical entailment. That's the way it works. So they've turned God into a deistic God and slapped the Yahweh or the Allah or whatever version on it and said, that's our God. Or they divested God from what the implications in the Bible are. They divested it from all the genocide. They divested it from all the slavery. They divested it from the flood. They divested it from all these various things that make this God look like a total asshole. And they said, that's not really it. That's just humans writing about what they perceive, but the God is still there. That's still simply deism. It's deism slapped with a Yahweh label. That's it. But the God of the Bible, the Abrahamic God, or the God Allah, these things do not exist because their defined properties as understood in the Bible define them out of existence. Done and done. So there were like 10 people on Facebook demanding that I give that explanation. I don't know if any of them are here. I don't know if any of them are hanging out. So I'll be curious to hear what their responses are, and if need be later on, because this is kind of like generating for the trip kind of stream. I may go through it again, but if there's any questions about that, I linked the article. In fact, I'll link it again. I'll link the DOI. Here's the DOI. Copy link, and I'll drop it again. Bam, there's the link to the DOI so that people can read it for themselves. So, I know that was a big, long explanation. Now, logically, that's from the scientific perspective. From the logical perspective, that's why is it like the problem of evil, the logical problem of evil, or what is it? The logical contradiction between omniscience and omnipotence. There's a bunch there. So that pretty much runs. So God, the God of the Bible is disproved either through basic logic, through the classical laws of logic, or through the classical laws of logic through logical entailment, or if you want to go the scientific route, that's pretty much that there. Let's see. Hello Baby says, the mistake is looking for God in the churches. I've been an ordained minister since 1996, and I do not enter churches. The one I did seminary in was tough enough with the hypocrisy. A lot of hypocrisy in there. Absolutely. Tony Regime says, before you get to the end of Genesis, God has already shown that he is fallible. Absolutely. In fact, if you go by the Bible, God regretted making human beings. Probably, if that God exists, then probably because it knew that we would eventually shut it down. And yeah. There's no reason. Bob Nadell says, if God was real, why should we respect him or it? That was the whole point I brought up in my last video. Is that it would be far better. It would not preclude. Faith is unnecessary. Faith is an unnecessary tool for an omniscient, omnipotent entity. It doesn't need to be that coy with humanity. It doesn't. It doesn't serve it any purpose because it is omniscient and omnipotent. Playing coy with its creation doesn't serve any purpose. All it would need to do is come down, lay all the cards on the table, bam. So here's the point. The question becomes, could it be possible to get every single human being on the planet in front of a television and completely and listening to a particular message? Absolutely, this is possible. It is a possible thing. It's very, very difficult, but it is possible. Every person listening to one message. It absolutely is possible. But we're talking about an omnipotent entity here. You telling me that the omnipotent entity cannot reveal itself to humanity, to every single person on Earth, in a way that they can absolutely understand and acknowledge that this thing exists? The only question that remains is do we want to worship it? No, this does not preclude anything. Faith is a completely unnecessary thing for this God. Why does it need it? Why does it rely on it? Why do human beings continuously have to make or use or commit the worst fallacies in human reasoning or the worst mistakes in human reasoning to justify a belief in it? It is absolutely silly. So, and not to knock on people who do believe in God, who do hold this belief, but the reality is you have to be intellectually honest about your belief. That's it. You must be intellectually honest about it. This is a feelings thing, not a reality thing. Let's see. Yes, Mr. For Twitch. We created God because we are afraid of death. Absolutely. Rashine's free will. Yeah, it would not be a violation of free will because we still have the free will to choose whether or not to worship it, whether or not to follow it. Just because if I were to suddenly know that God exists, does not automatically make me a Christian. I'd have to follow it to be that. And so if a God were to reveal itself and be like, hey, I'm God, it's like, oh, you're God. You got some splaining to do. Would be my immediate response. So, let me see here. Hey, Ida Pimp You to Hose here says, hey, good to see you. Thanks so much. Scapegoat is scary. It says, my point is that Almighty God would not need other people's stories to tell the story of his people. It's the same with the Quran. Yeah, exactly. Bob Nadill's Gyroscope says, I have 3 words for you. His name starts with O. Please no. Please no. Oh, please no. So, yes, if any of the Facebook people that were here, that were like yelling at me to explain this are in the chat, please raise your hand. Let yourself be known. You know, I'd want to hear. I want to hear your responses to this. Because I've got the work to back this up. This has been explained. Okay? I want you to refute it. Or if they have a question about evolution, because a lot of people that are denying evolution on this, there are a lot of people that are denying, or they don't really understand the difference between evolution and abiogenesis, but they also don't seem to understand that abiogenesis and evolution are not mutually exclusive with the concept of God. That abiogenesis and evolution, that if a God were to exist, abiogenesis and evolution could have very well been the processes that this being used to make everything. So, or to make everything and diversify life on this planet. So, they're not mutually exclusive. A God could exist, or a sufficiently powerful enough entity could exist, and made everything through abiogenesis and then diversified it through evolution. Very well could have been. But they think that for some reason that the two can't go hand in hand. Which means that they're not up to date on the science. They don't understand. They don't understand it. So, examples of evolution, everything that you see, okay, effectively, examples of evolution are, like, look around the world today. Zebra stripes, tiger stripes, colorations in birds. Look at our own bodies, the vestigial organs in our bodies, the homologous structures in our bodies. The fact that a chromosomal mutation that resulted in the divergence off of Homo sapiens, or basically Homo, from the remaining primate families. Okay, from all the Hominidae groups, because there are 4 in Hominidae. There are 4 genera that make up Hominidae, and that's Pongo, Pan, Gorilla, and Homo. Well, what split Homo off from that? Well, that was a chromosomal mutation, fusing on I can't remember which one it's on, the 23rd, but nonetheless, that's an example. But the whole point is, if you want an example of evolution, you just look at anything procreated, because you are not a direct copy of your parents. You are not a clone of your mom and your dad. You're not a clone of your mom. You're not a clone of your dad. You are a combination of the two, because you are not the same, and there are slight, tiny variations. Push out those variations, inserting other genetic codes until, put it like 5 million, 10 million years, and we will look vastly different depending upon what the evolutionary pressures are. I guarantee you, we mess up this planet via climate change, those evolutionary pressures are going to get a hell of a lot worse. But human beings are not going to look the way we look now in 5 million or 10 million years. And that would be your definition. It's not kicking the can out. You can mathematically extrapolate this stuff. The many different types of birds and fish. Exactly, yes. Tom Roberts says, Chile was an atheist until he went to the Bible Belt, then he found God during a fundraiser. Yes, evolution is simply defined as the repetition of positively selected gene alleles over time. That's it. Or not even that. It's not even really positively selected. That really pertains to what survives and what does not. But the repetition of gene alleles over time. And the positive, well, yeah, because positive selection is the ones that get to survive. Negatively selected for is the ones that don't. So, and I've always liked to state that logic, reason, and rationality are the positive selection pressures. Logic, reason, rationality are the negative selection pressures for religious ideology. If you want to look at like human concepts evolve as well. The concepts of God have changed, have evolved to match the evolutionary pressures of our understanding of reality. That's why the God that people worship today doesn't look anything like the God that was conceived of thousands of years ago. The Abrahamic God of 1,000 years ago doesn't really exist today. They've changed it. They've altered it. They've altered the scope of it. They've molded it, or it has evolved to match what we understand about reality. And eventually, once the questions are answered, we won't need God anymore to explain anything. That's why when the Bible was first conceived, God went from this, I'm walking around, I'm talking with people, it's like, yo, Adam, yo, Eve, what's happening? And I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm having conversations, and whatever, bestowing knowledge and shit. God went from that to talking through burning bushes and whatever. Went from that to sicking bears, on children because old men were upset that they were bald. God went from doing that stuff to, I shit you not, the last definition I heard of God was that it was a timeless, spaceless, which is impossible, a timeless, spaceless, outside of our reality, disembodied mind that is the metaphysical ontology of all things and secures all facts. I know it's very Darth Dawkins style like that, but God has been pushed from walking around in the world talking to humans to this outside space and time, metaphysically ontological, necessary, disembodied mind that grounds everything. That's the evolution of God. It literally went from walking around looking like one of us, like Greek stories, like Zeus coming down and talking to fucking Perseus and shit. It went walking around like that all the way to space brain. Or not even space brain, space mind. At least the friggin' flying spaghetti monster has function and form. This thing doesn't even have form. So, yeah, that's the evolution of God. That is how God has evolved in response to us, to human beings figuring this stuff out, figuring out the world. I love the movie Paul. The movie Paul was amazing. The humans are perfect. We are the only creation. Then how do you explain me? Javier Jera is here. Says, just got my degree, magna cum laude from the prestigious Dunning-Kruger University and my master at YouTube University at PragerU. PragerU, I am absolutely certain are just a bunch of trolls. They're just a bunch of trolls. That's all they are. They run around just trolling people, seeing what they can incite and seeing how many clicks they can get. Essentially, PragerU has been smashed so many times that nobody really takes them seriously. Let's see. Ones that really look good, and all the other ones call it. Yeah, more blue ones. Exactly. Bingo. You can check out the effects of evolution, or the effects of climate change on evolution, which has occurred. So we have documented evolution, and we've documented speciation in as little as 1 generation, depending upon the external pressures. We have documented in as little as 1. We've documented evolution across 120,000 generations. In the ongoing long-term evolutionary experiment. So, evolution is understood. Evolution is a fact. It is an absolute understood thing. So, we witness it. It's witnessed every day. Yes, Bottle Cap with the Knight's Tale reference. Well, the Pope may be French, but Jesus is English. I do. My wife and I like that movie. It's a good movie. Let me see here. Not the Messiah. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Wonderful. I love these. I didn't hear. My Facebook is no longer blowing up. I sent the link to this. I sent the link to this live stream to these individuals. I don't see. I got a few responses there. No, that was the same. That was the dude saying, life from non-life. Yeah, arguments from incredulity. Blah, 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 blah. Things you don't say at a crucifixion. Nailed it. Well, apparently, I guess I didn't hear from the... Oh, that's amazing. Next time you meet Chili, you need the shirt. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony Regime. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, I'm a big fan of the Heath Ledger film Knight's Tale. It's just a fun film. So, apparently Rasheen says Facebook has a short attention span. It apparently does. So, but that was pretty much it. So, maybe they'll pop back, maybe they won't, but I gave my explanation for it, and that's the breakdown as to why the Abrahamic God does not exist. If you want to take broad stroke there, or I know that some people need a little bit more nuance, explaining why certain things can't be, or have to have the logical contradictions pointed out and what they're espousing. That's pretty much it. Alice Caffrey, thank you so much for 10. I believe those are euros. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. No message, but I appreciate that, Alice. If you do have a message, just tag Bridge the Divide, and I'll see that. But thank you very much. That will go in the travel coffer. I do appreciate that. That support helps. All right, so we are going to see Chili get his butt kicked. Yes, we are. I cannot wait. I'm going to be dining out on this thing for months. I will be dining out on this fight for a long time because I will be there. Tom Robertson, only Jesus could have hid the treasure so completely on Oak Island. Absolutely. That's one thing I had to do, is I had to start going into debunking cryptid stuff. And although I dig stuff like that, I Bigfoot, Yeti, the Loch Ness Monster, Ogopogo, Chupacabras, hoop snakes, shit like that. But yeah, I had to do some videos on that because apparently there's a Bigfoot people on Facebook. Facebook is big with Bigfoot people. Govna 978 is a new member of the Godless Army. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Awesome. I think we may have hit enough to unveil a new emoji here pretty soon. I won't be able to do it just yet, but as soon as I end the stream, which I don't know when, I've got all the time in the world. But yeah, hopefully very soon we should be able to unlock a new emoji and make sure I didn't miss anything as far as like milestone chats, because they don't show me those. No, it's just got that last super chat. Thank you so much, Governor978. I do hope you enjoy the emojis and everything. Thank you. Let me go to my studio. Oh, dang. What the hell? Got to respond to this. All right. What am I doing? There we go. That's what I was looking for. And memberships. And emojis. We may almost be there. Almost there. Almost there. Very close. Very close. It really gets bad the further up you get. Like the more members you get, it gets really... You have to unlock a bunch in order to get the next emojis up. So, but thank you very much. I do appreciate that, Governor. Thank you very much. Let me see here. Ugly German Truths is here. Good to see Ugly German Truths. Thank you so much. Yes, Bob Nodell. Chili emoji is on the way. It absolutely is. Good to see you, Ugly German Truths. Appreciate you being here, bud. And let me see. Did someone new pop in? Steam Cuppery says, I don't give a dump about God. My problem is with scumbags thinking they can act on God's behalf with the same authority. Agreed. Is the individuals that want everyone else to live by what they feel is the problem. That's the issue. They feel their God exists, and their God has certain laws to dictate how we should live, and they want those to apply to everybody, regardless of whether or not we agree with them. So that's a big, big problem. Yes, Dogman of Michigan, I do believe. Is it Michigan or Wisconsin? I think it's Michigan. Yeah, I think it's Michigan. Let me know if I'm wrong. Hello, baby. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. Vesta Freya is here. Good to see you, Vesta Freya. Thanks so much for being here. Says hello, all. And Mr. E-Man as well is here. Another member of the Godless Army. Thank you so much, Mr. E-Man. Stephen Cup of Reason says, there is no God. As Hitchens said, we need to grow up and stop believing in childish notions. Agreed. We absolutely do. And Tom Robertson says, they debunked Skinwalker Ranch before the 4th episode. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I tried to watch that Skinwalker Ranch show. I absolutely tried. The level of poor science, like the science in it was so bad. It's like, what are you doing? And it was so edited up and played up for the cameras. It was like, well, I was like, oh, come on. And every time something was like, and when they tried to get to the heart of things, and then they would play up the same crap over and over and over again as though it was important or it was relevant in some way. I got so annoyed. I was like, that is not good science. That is not good science. That is not how you do that. I was just getting so obnoxious and drawing conclusions from the most mundane crap. It was like, I couldn't take it as legitimate. That this was just played up for the, Skywalker Ranch, or Skinwalker Ranch, blah, blah, blah. Skywalker Ranch is where they do that's a good place. Rudy Chavez says, Fraud Troll should make a shirt of chili with teeth missing and 2 black eyes. And the t-shirt says, trifold. Yeah, why can't we all just live in harmony? Maybe one day. You know? Bob Nadell said, ooh. Pardon me. Bob Nadell says, my YouTube background is black. What the actual... I don't know. I do not know. Let me see. So, we are going to go on a road trip. And I am leaving from northern Oklahoma, just south of the Kansas border. I'll be traveling through Missouri, specifically through St. Louis. And let me go through. I'm actually like chart my path. When you compare it to like the whole of the United States, it's actually looks pretty cool. Okay, so coming through the Cherokee Nation, coming up through Missouri, and looks like I'll be passing. So I'm going to go along this route once I get into Missouri, because there's literally nothing out here in Oklahoma. There's nothing out here in Oklahoma where I am. Let me see. So I'll leave out of here and go east. I go up through, there's a Miami, Oklahoma. That's cool. So, okay, I'll be going through Joplin. I'll be passing by Joplin. And then I will go through Republic, Marshfield. I'll be going kind of like a northeasterly route. Lebanon, all the way up St. James, all the way up to St. Louis. So I'll be going through St. Louis. And I will be on, looks like their major thoroughfare, like 44. For anybody in St. Louis who knows what I say knows what I mean when I say 44. So I'll be going through there, 44, and then I'll get on 64 going out. So I'll pass through St. Louis, and then see if there's anybody there. So that's my route will take me from Oklahoma straight up to St. Louis. So I'll be going to St. Louis. Tom Roberts says, no, I personally have been to Mystery Spot in California, and there is no explanation for how gravity works there. Mystery Spot. Let me take a look at that just 1 second. So this will take me through St. Louis, and then I will go back through, looks like Mount Vernon, Missouri, and then I'll be passing by Evansville. I will be passing by Santa Claus. There is a Santa Claus, Missouri. Is that what I think it is? No, I don't know. Anyway, I'll be passing by, looks like passing by Leavenworth, and then I will drive through Louisville. So it looks like, there we go. Okay, so I will come, okay, so I see what I'm doing here. All right, cool. So I'll go through St. Louis, and then I'll pass from St. Louis into Indiana. So I will be driving through southern Indiana, and let me see here. There's Indianapolis. Fort Wayne. Oh, Fort Wayne is where an old friend of mine moved to. That's way up north. Okay, that's too far up north for me to say hi to him. So I'll be going through southern Indiana, and then I will pass into Kentucky at Louisville. So I will pass, and that looks like it passes over the Ohio River. So I will pass over the Ohio River and then go through Louisville, Kentucky, where I will then drive down and then come around Lexington and make my way through, looks like the middle of nowhere, up to Ashland, which is a little town on the Ohio River. It is literally on the Ohio River on the border between Kentucky and Ohio. So that's my route. That's what I'm trying to do. I know that the big things that I can see. I know that there will be. I'll see the St. Louis Arch. I know. I tend to see that. So yes, eventually Bob Nadell's gyroscope. I do plan to go up to Ireland. The difficulty in that is timing, and because we have dogs. So we have 3 dogs, so we have to make sure that they're taken care of for the time that we're gone. But yes, I do intend to go to Ireland eventually. Yeah, I'm definitely going back there. So, or I'm definitely going there. I'm going there. My ancestors hail. So, yes. Oh, pick up a bat while you're in Louisville to use on chili. That would be funny as hell. Let me see. So, definitely we'll be passing through St. Louis. So I'll see the Arch going through Louisville. So I can probably check out. So if there's anything big along that, you know where I'm going. Mr. Fort Twitch, I'm in northern Oklahoma, just south of the Kansas border. So you know where I'm going through. I am going through St. Louis. I am going through Louisville. Those are the 2 major metropolitan areas that I'm going through. I'm going through Springfield as well. So Springfield, Missouri, through St. Louis, Missouri, then through and then into Indiana, where I will pass by Evansville, and then I will drive directly through, and then I will drive. Basically, I pass by Evansville, and then I got nothing because I'm so south in Indiana, in Indiana, and then I will pass over the border, over the Ohio River, and then pass directly through Louisville. I'm going straight through Louisville, Kentucky, and then I'll be taking that along till I pass, basically kind of like drive around Lexington, and then, what is that? Well, technically I could change that. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, that route has tolls. Okay, it was trying to avoid tolls for me. And then I will pass through Lexington, and then I will go all the way up to the border again to Ohio, where there will be where's Ashland, and that's God, it looks very. It's not a real, not a hardcore place, but nonetheless, going to Ashland, where it's on the border, it's on the Ohio River, on the border of Ohio and Kentucky, and so these are my plans. So that's the plan for the trip. 12 and a half hours. Get out there. And I do, so the things I intend to see, obviously, in Louisville, I can check out, what is a big thing in Louisville? What is a big thing in Louisville? Louisville Slugger Museum and Factory. I could get a bat. The Louisville Zoo, Churchill Downs. That's a racetrack. Kentucky Derby Museum, Kentucky Speed Art Museum. Cool. So it looks like the Louisville Slugger Museum and Factory. I'll probably buy a bat. I could probably get a bat. That would be cool. Okay, so that's to do in Louisville. St. Louis, obviously, you can see the arch. But if I will take recommendations. Something slugger. Let's see. Find musket balls from the Civil War. Oh, interesting. Tom Robertson. Good recommendation. I'm gonna write that down. Metal detector. Let me look into that. I don't own one, so that may be something I need to look into. Is getting a metal detector. That would be kind of cool. I didn't think of that. Well brought up. Excellent. 90 minutes further is Williamsburg with the Ark exhibit. Intriguing. Okay, hang on. The Ark encounter. Williamstown, Kentucky. I will be in, I think we just found, because I'm not leaving immediately. Oh. Gosh of Heckfire. I plan on driving through St. Louis. I have some time, so I could probably just, that would be cool. If you want to, like to stop and have lunch, that would be cool. Let me see here. But Williamstown, I'm looking at the map right now. So there's Ashland. So my intention was this. So this was my plan. So there's West Virginia. And where did it go? So I'll be at Ashland. My intention was to head up north and head over to Point Pleasant. Because I want to check out the Mothman Museum. So I want to check out the Mothman Museum. I've always wanted to check it out, see it, and get a picture of me probably at the statue. So I want to check that out. That's in Point Pleasant, and it's literally an hour. So you have to go to Ashland, and it's like an hour away from Ashland up into West Virginia. So I want to go to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and check that out. But I will not. I will still have plenty of time. Here. And let me see here. Point Pleasant. I see where that is. And then I see where Ashland is. It's not even terribly that far. It's like an hour away. Probably the traffic probably will not be that bad. It's like I can just jump on the 2 and take the 2 all the way up to Point Pleasant. Super rural, but I do want to check out Point Pleasant. I think that would be cool as hell. Now, where is coming through Lexington? Where the heck is the Ark encounter? Williamstown, Kentucky. Williamstown. Lexington, Louisville. Because if it's on the way, I could hit it on the way. Lexington, where's that? Where the hell is Williamson? Trying to locate it on the map. Right north of Lexington on the I-75. Tom said, I dated two sisters in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, but that's a story for another time. Ooh, very interesting. Ooh, is Charlie Welch here? Charlie Welch is here. It's all good. Is Illinois involved? No, Indiana is involved. I'll be going through Indiana. Let's see, right north of Lexington on the I-75. Let's find out. So Lexington, there we go. North of Lexington. Williamstown, there it is. And there's the Ark encounter. Oh. Okay. Okay, if we went there. If we went to the Ark encounter. That's in Williamstown. Over off I-75. If we went to the Ark encounter, that's going up towards Cincinnati. On the other side of the Ohio River is Cincinnati. So if we go to the Ark encounter, that's straight up 75 in Lexington. So I would have to go 64 and then jump on the 75. Okay, so I would have to do this on the way there. I'd have to hit this on the way there. Otherwise, I got to... Well, I could also hit it on the way back. I could hit it on the way back. That way I could spend more time and wasn't so pressed for time. Okay. Let me know in the chat if you want me to go check out the Ark encounter in Williamstown, Kentucky. Do you want me to go to the Ark encounter and check that out? I will be happy to go to the Ark encounter. I didn't realize it, and I wasn't planning on it. So if you want me to go to the Ark encounter, I will go to the Ark encounter, and I will check that one out, and I will see if I can see what I can see. I think that should be entertaining. Charlie Welch is there, and I see Angie's here as well. I love that. I do also love that pick, Angie. That your hair is amazing. Charlie Welch I saw there, and Pam B as well. Portsmouth, Ohio flood wall murals. Oh, interesting. Very cool. So there's a bunch of stuff. Awesome. Haley. Let's see. Haley, I am not specifically... I don't think I'm going to be road tripping with Irish Demon. The problem was getting Irish into Oklahoma when I think it was far cheaper for him to fly directly into Cincinnati. So if I understand correctly, he's going to fly directly into Cincinnati, and then either I'm going to wind up picking him up, or he's going to get a car and he's going to drive down to Ashland. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty certain that I'll be meeting him in Ashland, and then we'll do stuff while we're in Ashland. And then after the fight, I'll probably end up being able to hit the Ark encounter on the way back. So that's three things I got to see. I got to see the St. Louis Arch. I got to stop by, and I got to get a bat in Louisville, Kentucky, and then so it's 3 stops. So I got to hit the St. Louis Arch, the Louisville Slugger, the Louisville Slugger, I guess factory, and the Ark encounter. The Ark encounter, and apparently I need to take a metal detector to a place. I want to make sure I get that place right. Where's the Divine, St. Louis? Maybe I could meet you for an hour. 2.5 hours from St. Louis. Yeah, I'll be popping through St. Louis, and apparently Gosh of Heckfire wanted to hang out, maybe do lunch. So it's a possibility we could do that. You have me on Discord. Message me on Discord. That's going to be the best way to get a hold of me while I'm on the road. Is to get a hold of me through Discord. Let me see here. Nope, this guy still doesn't want to come on here. Put it down. Like I said, if any of the theists are in the chat and want to have this discussion, I'd love to have this discussion with y'all. I really would. So yeah, I'm when I'm leaving, so I will be leaving on the 22nd of September. That's when I'm leaving town. I'll be leaving on the 22nd of September to get into, because I have Week in Horror on the 21st. That's the season premiere. The season 4 premiere of Week in Horror is on the 21st. I'll be leaving town on the 22nd, and then hopefully I'll be getting into Ashland either late the 22nd or early the 23rd. Just depends upon how it goes. So, and hopefully I'll have a ticket as well. But I'm still going anyway, ticket or not. So, yeah. Chance to talk to Ken Ham. That would be epic. That would be quite hilarious. It would. It features some nice shots of Louisville. Devil's Revenge was at least interesting. So I will not be road tripping with ID on the way out there. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to, because for him to come out, I'd have to drive in the opposite direction to Oklahoma City, pick him up, come back up through my town, and then head out to go. And it was a lot of extra steps, and then him trying to get out of town, have to go back to Oklahoma City, then back to where I am, and then him going into Cincinnati seemed to be a lot more plausible. So I think that's what he's going to be doing, is to be flying into Cincinnati. So all I know is that pretty much as far as I know, I'll be covering it's the hotel expenses of staying out there in Ashland, of which we've already found a place to stay. There's the hotel expense of staying out there. There's the gas expenditure, and of course food, and then of course to get into the Ark encounter, which I wasn't anticipating. Let me know is only a cheap grift. I can make better paper mache with my niece and nephew. Mystery Man, absolutely. So yeah, people want me to visit the Ark. I will definitely visit the Ark. I will do that. Go through Lexington is straight. So let me know where the let me see. Just think of all the energy JL could store if he had a way of collecting it from the Mothman. Tony Regime. That's awesome. Let me see. I would like to know where I need the metal detector for. Let me know where I need the metal detector for, because I'm really, really curious about that. Let's see. Halloween is set in fictional Haddonfield, Illinois, but is replete with references to Bowling Green and Warren County. Absolutely. Oh, Darcy Vanberg, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thought I'd drop by and say hi. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Darcy. Excellent to have you here. Unfortunately, the people that I invited on haven't joined, or they're not on, or they didn't get my messages. That thread that I put up on Facebook is blowing up, but for some reason, none of them want to come on and talk to me, which is a shame. This guy, Nathan Metzger, it's insane. I'm versed in orbital mechanics. Are you? Yes, I am versed in orbital mechanics. And the truth of orbital mechanics is irrelevant as to whether or not a god exists. It's just ridiculous. Oh, well. So, the other option that I had was to potentially have MC Toon on. But unfortunately, MC Toon is, he didn't respond to my message. Because that's a chat that I think everybody wants to have. They want to have me and, they want to see me and Toon sit down, because I know I'm a very vocal atheist, and I know that I'm big on these things, and I really want to chat with MC Toon. I want to talk with MC Toon about just how he reconciles these things. I really, really do. So here's this. While we're looking at this, so. Let me see. Tom brought up the mystery spot in California. The mystery spot in California is a tourist attraction near Santa Cruz, California, opened in 1939 by George Prather. Visitors experience demonstrations that appear to defy gravity on the short but steep uphill walk and inside a wooden building on the site. The site is what is known as a gravity hill and was the first of its kind to be built in California. Also known as a magnetic hill, mystery spot, gravity road, or anti-gravity hill, is a place where the layout of the surrounding land produces an optical illusion, making a slight downhill slope appear to be an uphill slope. Thus, a car left out of gear will appear to be rolling uphill against gravity. There are hundreds of recognized gravity hills around the world. There's your explanation. So Tom Robertson, that's the explanation, is that the mystery spot is built on a gravity hill, and that it makes use of a natural phenomenon in order to essentially be a tourist trap. The slope of gravity hills is an optical illusion. Although sites are often accompanied by claims that magnetic or supernatural forces are at work, the most important factor contributing to the illusion is a completely or mostly obstructed horizon. Without a horizon, it becomes difficult for a person to judge the slope of a surface, as a reliable reference is missing. Objects which one would normally assume to be more or less perpendicular to the ground, such as trees, may actually be leaning, offsetting the visual reference. A 2003 study looked into how the absence of a horizon can skew the perspective on gravity hills by recreating a number of anti-gravity places in the lab to see how volunteers would react. As a conclusion, researchers from universities of Padova and Pavia in Italy have found that without a true horizon in sight, the human brain can be tricked by common landmarks such as trees and signs. The illusion is similar to the Amy's room, in which objects can also appear to roll against gravity. The opposite phenomenon, an uphill road that appears flat, is known in bicycle racing as a false flat, which is the opposite effect. So the Ames room is this. Let me share this one. Tell you, gosh, if I fired, technically aren't all hills gravity hills? True. So it's like the Ames room, which is an example of forced perspective. So it's an optical effect. Tom Robertson says, look up the photos of Mystery Spot. People almost side by side have to stand at different angles in order to stand, unlike Spook Hill in Florida. That is an optical illusion. I literally just brought it up. There's also the Crooked House, which is a building with with an internal gravity hill optical illusion. Mystery Spot. Mystery Spot, tourist attraction near Santa Cruz, California, opened in 1939, and gained recognition as a roadside gravity box or tilted house. The site is what is known as a gravity hill and was the first of its kind to be built in California. Explanation. It is a gravity hill, tilt-induced visual illusion. And yes, there's a picture there. One of the many optical illusions at the Santa Cruz Mystery Spot. The classical Titanic pose is possible on a table at the Mystery Spot. There's a guide leaning on top of a table at the Mystery Spot. So yes, these are optical illusions. So unfortunately, it has been explained. Charlie Welch would like to say the Mystery Spot is in a woman's pants, and fucking founded by God, I swear. Hello Baby says, and Gravity Hill in Pengrove, Petaluma area. So apparently there's lots of them out there. Yep, Charlie Welch says, the one by me, you put your car in neutral and it appeared as if you were being pulled uphill. Let's see. Ed2276 says, good to see you, Ed. Says, all I know is that when you travel to the fight, don't drive any further than Kentucky or you will fall off the edge of the earth. I'll do my best. Angie, just walked through the explanation for the Mystery Spot in Santa Cruz. Just walked through that. The Mystery Spot in Santa Cruz is what is known as a gravity hill. It's an optical illusion. Yeah. Darcy Vanberg says, it's California. We're all an optical illusion out here. Okay, now, someone responded, I understand that... okay, Mr. Eman says, MC Tune is not at all interested in debating religion. And I don't want to debate it with him. I don't want to debate his religion. There's two things that I want, and that is I want to get clarification on what his Christianity, like what form his Christianity takes, and how he reconciles it with what he understands about reality. So it can be reconciled by saying that belief is not rational, it's just a belief. So I'm just curious about that because I haven't heard him take that position yet. I have spoken with Christians who have acknowledged that their faith is completely irrational. It's an emotional appeal, that it doesn't matter to them. It gives them some sort of comfort. It provides some sort of psychological utility, which is fine. That's cool. I got no problem with that. I just have never had that conversation with Toon. And I'm very, very curious about that, given the level of his knowledge and the level of his understanding and the level of his education and what he knows to be true. There can be irrational beliefs, Darcy. But I want to know how he reconciles this. That's my curiosity there. See, that's the difference between someone like me and someone like T-Jump. T-Jump very, very much is about the show. It's showmanship for T-Jump. You know, it gets to the point of like calling people stupid for believing in ridiculous things. So I'm not about calling people dumb. I want to understand why people believe the things that they believe, and see are they willing to have those things inspire them to particular action. You know, like we all share space on this planet. If we're all running around believing in irrational things, this can lead to irrational behaviors, which directly cause conflict. So I'm just very, very curious as to how he rationalized it given the level of his understanding and level of his education. That's what I'm curious about. It's an interesting conversation to have. I don't want to debate him on it because he can believe whatever he wants to believe. You know, I want to hear the breakdown. Because not many people get the opportunity to break it down in this fashion, and I think it would do many people a lot of good to hear that. Is pretty much going down there. And of course, if I have any questions that he might want to pose to me as an atheist, he may be able to pose something to me. I'm always willing to hear more. Surf says, I like T-Jump's chair, but not really how he acts. Yeah, that boy is he's a black pearl. He definitely is a black pearl sitting in that chair. Angie, I miss California. I was born, raised San Diego. Balboa, La Jolla, University City. Those were my stomping grounds. I miss it a lot. Love California. Miss San Diego. But and I go back when I can, because it's a long drive for me now. But I go back when I can, and I still have family out there. But I miss it. I love all of California except for LA. Everything from the Bay Area all the way down to Baja. I love California. I just don't like LA. That's it. Tom Robertson, I know why you miss Black's Beach. I know why you miss it. Hello Baby says, what if one has seen and had things happen directly? That's me. This is an interesting conversation. Okay? So the question is that you then pose is that you want to come at this with a level of intellectual honesty. Okay? You say, I had an experience, which I do not doubt that you did. But then you have to ask yourself, what does the experience entail? What can I confirm about the experience? And what does it mean in regards to everything else that I know, contextually speaking? What does this say about reality? Did what I see violate? Is it possible that what I saw violated the laws of reality if what I saw is what I think I saw? That it violates the laws of reality. If it doesn't, then it's quite possible you had an experience. You had an experience. The question is, does that experience match what we know about reality, or does it not? Does it break the laws of reality? Once you start being able to determine the difference between that which is imaginary and that which is real, is what's important. It's okay. People have imaginary experiences all the time. Okay? The question is, are we willing to accept that they're imaginary or that they're real? Or can we determine if they're real? And that's all that is. It's when people start thinking that their imaginary experiences are absolutely real and reflect reality, that's when it becomes problematic. Especially when what they assert happened violates the known laws of reality, or violates what can actually occur, like violates physics or violates logic. So, Bay Area, nice. Angel Rivera says, I lived in Oceanside as a kid, and Escondido as a young adult. I love the area, just way too expensive. Agreed. Angela and I stayed for a week in Oceanside at one of those little no-frill surfer hotels. Absolute blast. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, we hung out there and just, 5 minutes, just chilled on the boardwalk, smoked a lot A lot of funny stuff. Visited some family, and then did basically just chilled, did nothing. You know, that was a complete like do nothing. You know, just stay in a little no-frill surfer motel, go down to the beach, chill out in the ocean. You know, that is probably one of my favorite. That right there is one of my favorite vacations, next to the week that I spent in Fort Myers with friends at an Airbnb that we rented. It was a condo that we read that was available for rent for a week, and we stayed in Fort Myers for a week, and that was a blast because it was high up and it was overlooking the ocean. It was just that was just amazing. Ooh, San Fernando Valley is beautiful. Oh yeah, so but yeah, that's a conversation I would love to have with MC Toon. Just to have the conversation, just to discuss it. I think it would be very enlightening for a lot of people. And there may be some things that he has to say or that he would like to ask me. I don't know. Won't know until I get him on my show, which I have not been able to do yet. Did I leave my wallet in El Segundo? Why do I know that? Why do I know that? Oh, it's a song. Okay, duh. Tribe Called Quest. Don't listen to a lot of Tribe. Not recently. Probably why I didn't pick up on the reference. But thank you for the reference. Appreciate that. Let me see here. It says, "Oh my God, you are assuming a lot there, Bridge the Divide." Not assuming a lot, just breaking it down. Just breaking it down. That's all it is. Is that you look at what is possible. You look at what is possible and what is not possible, and you try to determine what it was and what can I determine from what I experienced. You know, because if what you experienced, I'm not saying that it was, but if what you experienced was a complete and total hallucination, and you never presented it to anybody, and you never got checked out after the fact, how would you be able to determine that it wasn't a hallucination? It's all about methodology. It's all about eliminating other possibilities. That's part of the process. Is it couldn't possibly be this because of these circumstances. It couldn't possibly be this because of these circumstances. Which, once I've removed all the possibilities that are, then it becomes more likely that this is what the explanation is. So you just have to be able to remove, the possibilities. It's like, here's the best example. And I think a lot of people out there will know what I'm talking about. So there was a movie called The Messenger with Milla Jovovich. Okay? And in the movie The Messenger, there was one fantastic role. There was one fantastic scene that was Milla Jovovich talking to Dustin Hoffman's character. And Dustin Hoffman is this character that's appearing to her. And it's unknown. It's vague. It's left deliberately vague if Dustin Hoffman is God or if Dustin Hoffman is Satan, if Dustin Hoffman is her own conscience, if she's talking to herself. It's unknown. Because it definitely implies that she has been hallucinating a lot. So this could be a manifestation of her own mind. But she's talking to Dustin Hoffman's character. And Dustin Hoffman is pointing out to her, the character is pointing out to her that Dustin Hoffman is pointing out to her that she is seeing what she wants to see, and the example is that one of the things that her character Joan of Arc, that Jean, one of the things that Jean took as a sign from God was when she was playing in a field and she found a sword in a field. Okay, it's like she happened to be playing along and she stumbled upon a sword. It's like, this was a sign that she was meant to be some avenger for some holy avenger for France, and to lead the fight against English oppression and reestablish the Dauphin in power. So this was how she interpreted the event. When she's talking to herself, talking to Dustin Hoffman's character, she asks him, how does a sword get in a field? The sword doesn't just get into a field. Okay? It has no business being in a field. The sword doesn't just get into a field. And then he brings up, it's like, yes, you are correct. Of the infinite ways a sword can come into a field, yes, a sword does not belong in a field, but there are an infinite number of ways that a sword could get into a field. And of all the possible ways a sword can get into a field, and he gives her all these demonstrations of, like, there was a battle, and a guy died, and he dropped a sword. The sword was in a field. There is a dude running away from people, so he doesn't have to fight, and he throws his sword away. So he's not armed, so decreased odds of not being killed. And then there's the inexplicable. A guy just walking along, and he's fed up, and he just throws his sword away, and just, he's just like, I don't want the sword anymore. And he throws his sword away, because he's, for whatever reason. There's all of these possibilities for why a sword could be in a field. But of all the infinite possibilities of why a sword could be in a field, Joan of Arc chose this one. Oh, and then the sword comes down out of the sky and lands down on the ground, and that's the one she chose. She saw what she wanted to see. She was angry at the English. She wanted to hurt the English. She happened upon a sword, and she wanted it to be a sign from God to justify her murdering the English. That's what was brought up. Okay? You saw what you wanted to see. That's the point. And Jean never takes the time. She's so devout. She never takes the time to actually think about what she's doing. Is she doing this for herself, or is she actually doing this for God? And it comes down to it, if you look at the evidence, she was kind of doing it for herself. The things that she was recorded having said while in battle indicate that she was doing this for her, because she hated the English. But, they put her up as a saint. So that's the point. No, I didn't assume that you were hopped up on anything. I never said anything about drugs. No, hello, baby. I never said anything about drugs. I'm saying, of all the possibilities, have you eliminated everything to conclude that this is that the supernatural event is what took place? That's it. You have to be willing to go through it. And if you're not willing to go through and eliminate all these possibilities, then the question really then becomes, are you interested in the truth? Or are you only interested in what you want to be true? That's the big thing. I brought that up way earlier in the live stream. It's about what you want to be true. It's about what is true as opposed to what you want to be true. Now, if you want it to be true, that's fine, but you have to be able to recognize that. That's all. There's Clive Wells. Clive Wells is in the chat with the obligatory ghost. I do appreciate the additional, the alternative energy. Thank you very, very much. Ugly German Tuesday. But then being made a saint doesn't say nothing more about a person than that the Catholic Church thinks the act is good marketing. Exactly. The saints are fantastic marketing. Look at this amazing thing that they did. Venerate them as a saint. Augustine was a saint. Jerome was a saint. Jerome translated the Bible into Latin, and Augustine was not happy with Jerome for doing that because he didn't use the Septuagint, but they're both saints. So, Ed 226 says it was a bakery, cakes, cookies, they had excellent eclairs too. Ooh, an eclair sounds good. I had heard that they closed down a few years ago when Mare Island closed down. So yeah, hello, baby. I wasn't saying that you were on drugs. I wasn't saying that you were hopped up on anything. I'm just saying that everyone can say that they had an experience that they couldn't readily explain. Like something occurred, or they glimpsed something, or something happened, or they heard something, or whatever, and that they couldn't readily immediately explain. What was that? I have no idea. Okay? But when you start walking through it, see, that's a habit that I had to build in myself. After I deconverted from Christianity, that was a habit I had to build up, is that whenever I had an experience that I couldn't readily explain, I had to develop the habit to go and attempt to explain it. Say, okay, what are all the things that this could possibly be? And start breaking them down and walking through it. Boom, 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 boom. So, and eventually, it's something that you just need to recognize. So, Tom Robertson, I've actually spoken on the Fatima legend. It's hard to explain because so many places witnessed it. The problem, for lack of a better term, Tom, the devil is in the details. When you look at the story, the legend of Fatima, when you look at the legend of Fatima, or Fatima, whichever one you want to go with, the story seems like, wow, how could this be? The problem is, when you read the notes of the individuals that investigated it and talked to every single one of the people, the actual accounts of what was seen vary from person to person. No one person saw the exact same thing. In fact, pretty much everybody, I think the general conclusion was that everyone that was spoken to saw a version of what they wanted to see and what they expected to see. Everyone, first and foremost, everyone converged on an area, and they were all expecting to see something, which means that they were all psychologically primed to anticipate an event. 2, a light event took place that was known to take place in that area. 3, they were all deeply spiritual and religious. They were all primed to interpret this event as something because they were told it was what it was going to be. But everybody had a different experience of what was going on when you start diving into the details of all the interviews that were done. Not to mention, there were some people that saw vastly different things, and there were some people that saw nothing at all. Because that was predominantly about angles. So the devil was in the details on the legend of the Fatima legend, or the Fatima legend. That it was like, wow, how did this amazing thing work? And then when you start really digging into it, it all starts to fall apart because no one saw the exact same thing. That was what was problematic about that. Yep. So Ugly German Truths brings up Fatima was also not a spontaneous event. It was prophesized months in advance so that tens of thousands that assembled to see it were hyped before even arriving at the place. That was the thing. Everyone arriving there was psychologically anchored to anticipate an event. So that's why mass hysteria or mass delusion is also factored into this, because everyone was riled up expecting to see a particular thing happen. And when a kind of light effect did happen, that's when everybody was kind of like, oh, but everybody had different interpretations. It really is what they saw, what they wanted to see. That's the big thing. Angie says, how about when you're not prepared, when you're not prepped for it, and your kitchen chair moves without any explanation? With we should say, no ready explanation. The question then becomes, did something move it that you did not see it? The question comes, could something that moved the chair have been partially blocked? Or could it be that it didn't move, but you heard a noise that sounded like the chair moving, and then when you turned and looked, your brain said, that sounded like a chair moving, the chair must have moved, and then you kind of remembered it in a different position than it originally was when it may not have been. See, these are the things that you have to be able to eliminate. Because here's the reality. Does a chair move on its own? No, it doesn't. It requires force to move an object. So if the object moves, where's the force come from? That becomes the question. So if something moves, where does the force come from? If you look deep enough and investigate, you will find the force that moved it. Or you'll realize that it never moved in the first place, and your brain just convinced you that it did. Tom Robertson, how do you explain my wife finding me no matter what bar I'm at? That's a very damn good question. I see MC Toon popped on, but he didn't message me. He popped on briefly. He probably saw it, but, he's busy. He's probably busy. He's got kids. Eventually, I'm going to have him on the show. Eventually, I'm going to have him here. I will. Angie says, Haley, well, he created some good ones. We can all be honest about that. Tom Robertson, motivation, stamina. Tom Robertson says, motivation and stamina, or you never visit a different bar. That's a damn good question. Oh, okay, so here's interesting. And she says, okay, no ready explanation, no fan, although a fan moving a chair would be difficult. No window open, wind moving a chair, maybe, but a strong enough gust would have other effects, so that's unlikely. No door open, that would be irrelevant. I mean, someone could have moved the chair and then left and closed the door behind them, but you probably would have heard the door closing as well. So the door wasn't open and no animals were present. That's another thing to eliminate. You had headphones on. Okay, cool. You had headphones on. Are you sure? Okay, is it possible that the sound came from the chair or the sound came from you, and and your brain misattributed it to the chair? Is also a possibility. Is hearing something that sounds like it's behind you or sounds like it's nearby when in actuality it's you. So there's also that possibility. And yes, Angie, you are correct. One of my friend Cody, one of his absolute favorite things is that brains are assholes. Brains are dicks. What's my absolute favorite? Here's one of my favorites. Here we go. Okay. Oh, no, I can't do that. So let me do this. I'm going to zoom in. So let me share this real quick. This is one of my favorites. I absolutely love these. So this is the Kinesis square and triangle illusions. Okay. So looking at these two objects, okay, your brain is going to see the patterns that are obviously here. The corners you see obviously lead to like a triangle, okay? And it will look like the white triangle is set above 3 black circles and that the lined triangle is beneath it, okay? That's on the left-hand side. But on the right-hand side, you kind of see a similar thing where you have the triangle inside that looks like it's 3-dimensional, but it's just 3 different shades. So here's the question, and I wish I could zoom in even closer. So the question you ask yourself when you see this, on this one, like on you can't see let me see if I can do this. I don't know if you can see the mouse cursor, but here's the question on this. Can you see the mouse cursor? No, I don't think you can. But here you go. On the right-hand one in the gray square, okay? That triangle, or the pyramid is what it looks because of the shading, but that triangle in the center, can you see, other than the angles that are over the black circles, can you see the lines? Do the lines that demarcate the edges of the triangle, do those lines exist? Are those lines there? Now, tell me what you know and tell me what your brain is telling you. When you look at that and you say triangle, is that a triangle? Are there lines that are demarcated to say there is an edge here? And the reality of it is, no. Those lines do not exist. That gray, the light gray, the medium gray, and the dark gray, all of those bleed together. There is no line there. The only lines that exist for the triangle are the ones in the center where the 3 colored grays converge and the angles that are cut out of the circles, out of the black circles. The actual triangle doesn't exist. Okay? But the reason you see a triangle in there is because there is no lines. But your brain will try to fill in the gap on the pattern. So you see a pattern, you see related parts, and your brain will automatically try to fit those parts together to make it into something recognizable. And that is our pattern-seeking brain. That is pareidolia. Okay? Pareidolia and apophenia are the reason we see these shapes here. There is no triangle there, but your brain tells you that there is a triangle there. That's the point. Yes, Ugly German Shoes brings up, it plays on our brain being trained to assume when things block straight parts aside an object, the rest is still there. So yeah, those lines don't exist. They don't exist on either one of these pictures. Your brain will fill in the gaps because your brain is an asshole. Absolutely, your brain is an asshole. For example, the way our eyes are wired to our brains, the way our optic nerves are set up. If you keep your head still and you look left and you pan your vision right without moving your head, just pan your vision right, okay? There are moments when you're panning your vision that you actually don't see anything. You actually go blind. And that's because of the way our optic nerve is set up, okay? As you pan your vision, there are moments where there actually, if you took like frames, if you took like on a camera, if you took frame, there are frames in there that are blank. But you don't experience that. That is because your brain is using the surrounding information to fill in the data, to fill in the pattern. It's what your brain expects to see, so then it sees it. Brains are assholes. Brains mess with so much. So yeah. Clivewell says, there is no spoon. I mean, triangle. Pareidolia and apophenia are incredible powers that we have evolved over time to recognize patterns in random data. And this served us well on the ancient plains of Africa when we were fighting for survival every single day. They were very important then. They're not so important now because these are survival mechanisms that we used to live. We don't need them anymore. But unfortunately, they're there. So we end up like looking at the texture paint on the wall and seeing faces or seeing objects we recognize in the texture paint on the wall. There's no face there, but your brain sees it because there's enough pieces there to put the face together. Yep, that's one of the failures of basically how we've evolved. The way our eyes evolved is just terrible. Blind spots are not a thing that typically occur in nature, but they occur with us. And they occur with us because of the way our eyes are wired. That's just the way it's sussed out, you know? Terrible wiring. Mr. E-Man would like to say, it is all a simulation created by our own brain. Solipsistic nightmare. Or, yeah, nope, it wasn't me. Nope, wasn't me brings up, how about clouds when you were a kid? Pareidolia. Imagine, I have seen the effects of a sunrise on the clouds, and it looks, and I shit you not, it looked like a phoenix. I was like, and I think I took a picture of it. I don't know where that picture is, but I took a picture of it. Actually, there was a phenomena. Let me see here. Let me see here. There was a natural phenomena. I cannot remember. Dang it. What the heck was it called? Oh, there was a weather phenomenon that produced a giant mushroom cloud in Arizona. That's a rare one. Dang it. I can't recall what the name of it. There's an actual rare cloud formation. Rare cloud phenomena. The false string, no. Kelvin Helmholtz, no. I cannot recall what the name of this thing was, but there was a. I can bring one thing up. If you give me just 1 second, I'm going to find it. And these things are recorded all over the world. Where the heck was it? Oh, so many weird ones. I'm looking at pictures of clouds, trying to find a picture of a damn cloud. So, here we go. Let me bring this one up. So this, and for example, these are noctoluminescent clouds, is what these are called. Noctoluminescent clouds. All right? Now, we can easily explain what these are. We understand these quite well. Noctoluminescent clouds are tenuous cloud-like phenomena that are on the ragged edge of a much brighter and pervasive polar cloud layer of, let me see here, it's called polar mesospheric clouds in the upper atmosphere, visible in the deep twilight. They are made of crystals of water ice. The name roughly means shining night in Latin. They are most commonly observed in the summer months at latitudes between 50 degrees and 70 degrees north and south of the equator. They can only be observed when the sun is below the horizon. Okay? So that's a noctoluminescent cloud. This photo was taken over Phoenix, Arizona. So imagine seeing that 10,000 years ago. That's the whole point. Imagine seeing sky phenomena like this 10,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. Wild stuff. And being like, oh, what could that possibly be? Go back even further. Go back 100,000 years and imagine seeing an eclipse. Something is eating the moon. These are these kinds of things. Hey, how's it going, Jose Flores? Thanks so much for being here, bud. And, yep, Prism Effect. Tom Robertson, Prism Effect. Absolutely. Really Haunted. Lee is a great guy, and I would love you to just take a gander at his unexplainable activities that go on in his home. Really Haunted. Oh, yeah, Cali Cool J. Fall Streak Hole, or Mammotus Clouds. Absolutely. Mammotus Clouds are also really, really creepy looking. There was one cloud formation that doesn't occur very often, but absolutely looks like a phoenix. Or a Native American thunderbird. One of the two. But the natural cloud formation causes this fiery bird-like effect in the sky of the clouds. And it's a natural occurrence. Doesn't happen very often, but it has been documented enough. I was trying to find the actual name for it. But it happens naturally. Now imagine 10,000 years ago seeing this in the sky. There you go. Yes. Scapegoat says, oh, definitely. That would be a vision of God that cannot be denied in your mind, and some people anyway. Yeah, exactly. It's all about eliminating those possibilities. Nowadays, it's about eliminating the possibilities. What can it possibly not be? That's the whole point. Angie brings up Really Haunted. YouTube channel called Really Haunted. This may be a good debunking. Let me see here. Really Haunted? Really Haunted. 184,000 subscribers. His name is Lee? Interesting. Well, so he's doing the weird motion thing, and already there's problems with that. I see he's doing he's got the neon thing going on. Or he's got the movement indicators. So okay, so I can tell you this. Okay, so I'm just looking at his thumbnails. And I can tell you this. Oh yeah, Calico says, lenticular clouds look like UFOs. Imagine seeing that 1,000 years ago. Exactly. So, Really Haunted. I just looked at his channel, Angie. Thanks for the memories. Ha ha, Clive Wells, you're a funny guy. You're a super funny guy. So I'm looking at his channel right now. Actually, you know what? So you guys can see what I'm seeing. No. Where'd it go? Here we go. All right, so what you're looking at is Really Haunted's channel. All right, so you see all these, okay, you see like these effects right here, right? Okay, so what this is, there is a, where is that? Okay, so let me see here. To motion track. So motion tracking, it's a motion tracking effect, and I know that that's what that is. So effectively, he's motion tracking in his home, and that's what these stick figures are. So the camera is, the motion tracker is picking up people moving. So like right here on this one right here. So there's a person sitting there, and essentially the program or the app is trying to fit a wireframe to the individual, and it's using it, and then he's using it essentially to pick up essentially people that are not there. Okay, so the problem with these, and I'm not saying that his experience is not legit or anything, but what I am saying is that the use of programs like this, the stuff that you're seeing there, the old original Xbox, the Xbox Kinect, okay, like the old Kinect bar, use the same techniques. So the whole like tracking dots and everything in order to figure out, so that the camera could figure out where your head, your shoulders, your hands, your knees, and your waist, or your middle section, your midsection, and your feet were, so that it could track you in games that were moving. That required movement, like doing like Fruit Ninja, you know. So you could play with the Kinect, and the Kinect would track your movements using the same technology. Okay, so in essence, but unfortunately, what this does is that these programs are highly susceptible to clusters, to the way light plays it. And if you notice, he's doing all of this in low light. He's doing all of this in night vision. Night vision is problematic because it creates clusters that can be misinterpreted as movement because of the way the camera's aperture is functioning. And so, essentially, Aaron Reese has brought up, it's basically techno-pareidolia. It's creating bits of information that are being interpreted as people being there when there's not actually someone being there. But what the programs and what the computer is seeing is like it's trying to extrapolate that there's a person there because it's getting the same quality as a person being there. So with our eyes, we don't see anything. But then again, we don't see what the camera is seeing, and we don't see what the computer is extrapolating. So the computer is trying to put a person or a stick figure where it thinks a person is, which is what and that's why you get weird stuff like this. Look at this one over here. Wife dragged out of bed by a poltergeist. Look at all the weird extraneous stuff that's hanging off of it. Okay? So there's weird things going on there. And the reason for that is because if you watch the movements, it gets really funky because the camera is trying to extrapolate where something is. Okay? Like, for example, I've got my... this line over here that's sticking out way off to the side, you can see where the line is, where it has his head, his arm, his hand, and there's his other arm, where it's trying to extrapolate where he is at. But what is this line kicking out all the way off to the side? Okay, that line is essentially the computer trying to pick up the fact that his arm is bent. Okay, and it's picking up one length of where his arm is supposed to be, but it's thinking that object is probably his leg. So that's why those computers, and that's why they're unreliable in that. If you remember, the movie Paranormal Activity did this exact same thing. They used that phenomena to create the same effect. And they did it for a movie. That's why I'm not inclined to believe it. So thank you, Aaron. Yes. Tom Robertson, infrared signatures are also used to fool people. Absolutely. Yeah. Bobby says, hello. Exactly. Proof required. I couldn't give a shit. Oh, no. It comes to God. Yeah. So the assumption is that a God exists. The assumption must first be that a God exists in order for the experience to be related to a God. You first have to demonstrate that the God exists, because just because you had an experience does not logically entail that a God exists. That's the whole point there. Have a good night, hello, baby. Have a good one. Thanks for popping by. Cindy C's here. Says, hello, everyone. Just stopped in and say hello. Hope everyone's doing well, doing great. Thank you, Cindy C. I do appreciate it. Leyland Squirrels is here. So I just had 2 raccoons out here, too. Awesome. Very cool. Good to see everyone. Let's see. EVPs work the same as pareidolia, but with sound. Absolutely. They absolutely do. So that's the whole... I could take a look at his channel. Like I say, just as a cursory, just by looking at his thumbnails, I see exactly what he's doing, and it's techno-induced pareidolia. It's basically the camera and the computer that's interpreting the data is being fooled into something being there when there actually isn't anything there. That's why all of his stuff is in night vision. Okay? Why would he have to film it in night vision? Because night vision, you can obscure a lot of practical effects with night vision. That's why people use it. They don't film it in like a broad-ass house. Like, you know, like a fully well-lit room. They won't film that. Because when things are well lit, you can't hide practical effects that well. Which is why when you see practical effects in movies, typically the shots are dark. So that they don't spoil it. Let me see. So that's the whole point. It's all about just intellectual honesty regarding it. And understanding that there are some things that people want to be true that they'll hold on to because they need them to be true. That's fine. It's okay. They can do that. I got no problem with that. I just wish that I wish a lot of these people would actually talk to me. You know? All these friggin' responses to the thing that I put up, and none of them will talk to me. Oh well. Eventually I will. So, but we're going a little over 3 hours now, and we took a look at the Chili video. I gave you an update on the Chili situation, and I was hoping to get one of these cats, on the show, or at least in the live chat, to try and discuss this stuff, and that's what I was hoping for. Maybe special guest. Johnny wasn't able to come on, which is okay. That's fine. But yeah, unfortunately, doesn't always play out the way you want it to. You know, it doesn't always run down that way. Hopefully, eventually, one day, I will have MC Toon on this show. I don't know how long the conversation would last. I promise I would be cool, but I don't know when that will ever occur. It's been on the books for months, you know, to have him come on and chat. So maybe one day. He may be getting annoyed with me asking, because I said, "Are you busy tonight?" And I sent him the link to the StreamYard, and he never responded. So, although I did see him pop on, but he never actually responded to me. So he may be getting annoyed with me. Yep, I talked about we went back over my video footage with Chili, and then of course the update on what the court situation is. So as that progresses, I will have more updates. That's pretty much it. So here we are. I think we've gone a little over 3 hours, a little after 9 my time. So I think it might be a good place to call it. So ostensibly, I want to bring as much interesting information. I want people to come on so I can talk to them about these various things. That's why I kind of wanted Johnny on, so we have this discussion, because there's a bunch of things I want to talk to him about concerning, obviously the shit that's going down with Trump right now, because this is unprecedented for the shit that Trump is going through with this whole thing with the documents that he had in Mar-a-Lago, and the fact that we could see a former president actually criminally indicted and sent to jail, prosecuted under a very law that Trump himself signed into action. So it's wild. There's stuff like that going on. Europe seems to be burning down. Rivers are drying up all over the place. The hunger stones that have appeared because water levels are so low in that one particular river in I think it's Czechoslovakia or over there in Europe. But I know that there are hunger stones that have suddenly appeared that are really bad. That I'm just really curious. There's so many things going on. Not to mention what's going on in Texas. Frauditors trying to use the Uvalde situation in order to take advantage of the Uvalde situation and try to generate content that way. Some disgusting stuff there. The stabbing of Salman Rushdie. After that, after 30 years after having the Ayatollah declare a fatwa on him over 30 years ago, and all of a sudden somebody ran up on stage and stabbed him. And now apparently those same people are now threatening J.K. Rowling. So there's a bunch of wild stuff going on. And Layla the Squirrels, the torture cuffs. Dogs and cats sleeping together, mass hysteria. But yeah. Oh, it says, what is this? The frog's turning gay. I can come on and talk about how stupid ghost hunting is one day. Aaron Reese is oh yes, and Alex Jones being nailed $45 million lawsuit or $45 million from his defamation suit, him being a complete clown on on camera or in court, and having to be reminded by the judge that just because he thinks everything he says is true doesn't mean it's true. So and being scolded not to lie on the stand because the plaintiff's attorney was like, you're lying, and here's the proof you're lying. As far as I knew, I'm telling the truth. It's ridiculous. And then of course, the DeMaio, they apparently more people are running out on Darth Dawkins. Praise turned his back on Darth Dawkins now because Praise was saying that Darth Dawkins is probably a serial killer, so stuff like that. It's just there's a bunch of stuff going on. The governor says, I don't want anyone stabbed, but I'm not staying up nights worrying about threats made against TERFs like J.K. Rowling. I get that. No, I totally get that. But, I don't want people getting stabbed either. People should be running around stabbing each other just because they believe in a particular thing. Yes, Kevin Huell. Thank you for being here, Kevin. That says real wild stuff going on. There's a bunch of wackiness. China's economy looking like it might take out flatline within a month or two. What's going on with our economy? Our inflation is out of control. I don't know. I honestly don't. I can tell you what, our position here is pretty damn good. Because out here in the middle of nowhere and slowly but surely developing our sustainability here at the house, we're looking good. But I don't know. Hopefully, in 6 months' time, we won't be eating each other on the road. That would be bad. Living in a Cormac McCarthy novel. That would be something terrible. So, J.H. Ostrich says it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. I feel fine right now. Who knows? We keep anticipating whether or not, all of a sudden we're going to wake up one morning and, the bombs are dropping. We're pretty much far away. We're pretty far enough. We're far enough away from a major target, so we wouldn't get hit. But I don't want to wake up and see Tulsa gone in a mushroom cloud. I don't want to see that. That's just sad. Mass hysteria. Yep, we're paying for the lazy politics. It's very true. Very true. I probably need to do that more often, Angie. I probably do. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be very effective on a live stream if I was just totally toked. I wouldn't. That's why I don't drink on live streams. When I drink and I get excited, that's not something you want to see. Unlike Team gets drunk and he just kind of like the energy levels go down. I drink and the energy levels go up, and I become like diarrhea at the mouth, and it all just keeps pouring out. And y'all don't want to see that. That's just obnoxious. Lord KJ Williams in here. Good to see you, Lord. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Surf says, I volunteered to leave the planet. Ida Pibio says, we need to talk someday about when I became an atheist and my ghost experience. Intriguing. I actually had a UFO experience once. Meaning an unidentified flying object. Does not entail aliens. It just means that I saw something in the sky I could not readily identify. It was very weird. But it probably was some sort of technology or something that may have fallen out. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is it was very strange. And it was a long time ago. I haven't seen anything yet since. That I haven't been able to explain, like readily look up and say, I know what that is. I had, when I was very young. I think I was like 13. No. 13, 14 years old. It may have been. Long time ago. Just happened to see it at night while standing out in the middle of a parking lot in Texas. My dad had gone in to do some grocery shopping, and I was standing outside, and I was looking up at the sky, and happened to see something very weird. It didn't last very long, but it was weird. Let's see. Lord KJ says, I just bought a 1 liter of Crown Royal whiskey, and thank you. Absolutely. That's awesome. Get it on. Ooh, Angie says, I have an abduction story, and ever since then I've been petrified of greys. Just remember, the concept of the greys came from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Because before Close Encounters of the Third Kind released, the Spielberg movie, before that movie came out, there had never been a report of a gray. There had been abduction accounts. But those aliens either looked like people, or they looked like robots. Or some manner of monster or amalgamation of animals. But there had never been a report of greys pre-Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Once Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out, then people started reporting. Then people started to report seeing grays. The movie influenced what we knew about reality. So the grays didn't show up until Close Encounters showed up, which is an interesting little tidbit about that. And what's really funny is that there's actually more evidence for people being abducted off this planet by aliens than there is for God, which I think is hilarious. There's actually more credible evidence. You look at the Rendlesham Air Force Base incident in England. You look at the there was another Air Force base. There was a nuclear silo here in America. You look at that incident. You look at there's a number of incidents that actually have physical evidence that is left behind. And yet, so I'm not saying that aliens are coming down and abducting people, taking them away. That's absurd. But there actually is more evidence for aliens abducting people off this planet than there is for a God. I don't ever want to see that movie. Never. Oh, Paul? No. So, Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out in 1977. Directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Robert Duvall. No, not Robert Duvall. Starring, damn it. So I messed it up. Richard Dreyfuss, Melinda Dillon, Terry Garr. Known for its epic sequence around Devil's Tower. So that was like the Devil's Tower sequence. Clive, don't even. Killing me, Clive. So it's renowned for this image, for the UFO being above Devil's Tower. That was like the big epic thing, and the dun 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 dun, that the musical sequence that was used to communicate with them. And then of course, so that was the movie poster. That was the 40th anniversary poster, and then of course, that was when the Greys came out of the ship and started meeting everybody. I think that was why they ship, but there they are when the Greys come out to introduce themselves to humanity. And then they just adjusted from there. See? And they turned out to be nice aliens. You know? They turned out to be kind aliens. So, yeah. I done it. Yeah, Dreamcatcher. Not nice aliens. Not nice aliens. Let's see. Terry Garr, my first celebrity crush. Oh, I had a big crush on her. A young Frankenstein. Ugly German Jews. Devil's Tower, the most famous petrified tree stump. Logan Samuel, Ed2276 says, I used to play with my mashed taters. I'd make a cave to put my peas in. Yep. There's a sequence in the movie, Angie, when Dreyfuss takes his mashed potatoes and he piles them up into to look like Devil's Tower. Because it's embedded in his mind. It's like he needs to go there. And then that's where the big encounter event takes place, where human beings are introduced to extraterrestrials, which were Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Yes! Total Recall. Absolutely. So yeah, that was pretty much it. So, but the concepts of Greys were not in our kind of lexicon until after Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's when Greys started showing up. And then after that, they slowly began to change. Really big heads, big almond black eyes, stuff like that. And they kept changing over and over and over again. And then they're continuing to change. The concept of what was it? Even Travis Walton. Travis Walton, now we know that entire story has been debunked. Even Travis Walton's account eventually had him encountering the aliens that looked like people. So, The Fourth Kind was also an interesting abduction film, and I dug that. The one with Mila Jovovich, and about although it's, as far as I can tell, it's entirely fictional. So, and yeah, alien evolution. Unfortunately, no, Tom. Klaatu wasn't real. Aaron Reese. Greys are mean as shit. They return you with your underwear on backwards and have no knowledge of foreplay. Didn't calling them greys come from the movie Dreamcatcher? Where did the term greys come from? I know it was used that they called the red stuff Ripley, and they were, I think, I bet that's actually a good question. Gray alien, also referred to as the Zeta Reticulans, Roswell Greys, or Greys are purported extraterrestrials. The Gray aliens emerged, the appearance, description, history, origins. The origins of the Gray alien may go back to the late 19th century. In 1891, the novel Meta, A Tale of the Future, was published by Kenneth Follingsby, in which the narrator encountered a small gray-skinned alien with a balloon-shaped head. H.G. Wells presented a description of humanity's future appearance in the article "The Man of the Year Million," describing humans having no mouths, noses, or hair, and with large heads. Future humans. That was described by H.G. Wells in 1893. In 1895, Wells also depicted the Elohi, a successor species of humanity, in similar terms in the novel "The Time Machine," or the Elohai, or the Elohi. 1917, occultist Aleister Crowley described a meeting with a preternatural entity named Lamb that was similar in appearance to what we now call a gray. But yeah, that's Crowley. That's that weird stuff. He was on a lot of drugs. Let's see. 1933, Swedish novelist Gustav Sandgren used the pen name Gabriel Lind to publish a science fiction novel called Den Okanda Faran, in which he describes a race of extraterrestrials who wore clothes made of soft gray fabric and were short with big bald heads and large dark gleaming eyes. The novel, aimed at young readers, included illustrations of the imagined aliens. The description would become the template upon which the popular image of gray aliens is based. Then there was the Betty and Barney Hill abduction account, which took place in 1965, which is a little over 30 years after the book The Unknown Danger came out. And Betty and Barney Hill claimed in 1961 humanoid alien beings with grayish skin had abducted them and taken them to a flying saucer. And then, of course, in 1977, Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out, became a worldwide smash, and then cemented the idea of the Greys in popular culture. I did not see that they called them Greys, just that the color was used in their descriptions quite a bit. So, but they weren't called Greys. Yeah, just that they were gray in color, or they wore gray colored clothes. No, the gray title, no, that was not used. Most likely it was but my point in that was that Greys as being a part of abduction stories weren't really cemented in like pulp culture, like the vast majority of abduction stories. People weren't describing Greys. In the 40s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, abduction stories were still around, but people were not describing Greys. Greys entering popular culture can be traced back to the Betty and Barney Hill deal, or Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when the story became ubiquitous and became a worldwide sensation. That is when Greys entered popular culture, and then people started reporting Greys in their abduction accounts. I don't know about that, Colorado biker. I loved the movie Paul. I loved it. I actually thought that movie was quite good. Oh, nose itch. So I think that is about it. So who? Angie, you would love the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You'd love it. It's really, really good. I imagine you haven't watched the X-Files either, because there's a lot of gray stuff in that one as well. But, obviously X-Files, there's some good stuff in that show as well. All right, but I think that's about it. So, it's about going about 3... Hey, Cindy Johnson, good to see you. don't worry. There's 3.5 hours of content to go through. Plenty to listen to. Somebody messaged. Let me see here. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. You got it. Always happy to invite people to the Discord. And there's a link to the Discord in the description as well. Bam. There you go. All right. So, okay. So I think that's about it. Going about 3.5 hours. I know I'm getting a little hungry, so I'm probably going to go and eat. So, hey, Mark the Sarcastic Law Student, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. It's been an absolute blast. Pretty much, I'm going to be doing more. I'm going to be doing a few more live streams because, you know, this is one of the biggest road trips I've done in quite a while. I haven't really had to drive anywhere extensively. I think pretty much I just go back down to Dallas, which is only like 4 hours, and then back. So that's no problem. But this is a good 12.5 hour road trip. I'm going to be going to the fight. I'm going to be checking out the Ark Encounter. I'm going to be doing a lot of extraneous stuff. Just coordinating with people, trying to meet for lunch and do cool stuff like that. So I'm going to be doing stuff along the way. So these live streams are a good opportunity to try and make sure that the trip is covered and everybody's good, and, you know, emergency expenditures, make sure everything is solid in case anything happens. That's pretty much the whole point of these. So any super chats that I get, anything that comes out of it is automatically going to go towards handling the trip and make sure that I'm all covered and make sure that nothing, extreme happens. So just make sure, make sure I'm all set. So I appreciate all of the super chats and all of the new channel members. Thank you very, very much. I do appreciate it. Those channel memberships are never going to be more than 99 cents. So it's more about quantity than it is about quality. I mean, you get all the emojis and everything, and I'm going to unlock the new emojis here pretty soon, so I can get those up. And I appreciate all of the new channel members. Thank you all very much. Your support is greatly appreciated. All the super chats that came through, I appreciate those as well. Thank you very much. That's going to help out with the trip. And I'll be doing more of this, hopefully, leading up into the fight. And of course, if Chili does anything crazy, and I want to give more updates regarding what's going on with the courts between me and Chili, see what's going on there. So that's pretty much it. Or you never know, if MC Toon is suddenly available, I'll have him on the show, or if some other theist wants to, or maybe time for maybe set up a debate. I have no idea. But we'll see what happens. But thank you all to everybody for hanging out. It's been an awesome night. I do appreciate it. And of course, all of the super chats, thank you. All of the new channel members, thank you very much. Links to check that out is down there in the description below. NA with a last minute super chat for $66.66. Freedom Bucks says, have a good trip, buddy. Thank you, NA. I do appreciate it. We will put that to good use. I do appreciate it, and I will. Don't worry, I'll be checking out the Ark Encounter. So it should be fun. Question is, do I want to go live or just record? Just record and then check it out live later. I don't know, but it should be fun. So it's gonna be really, really good. So everybody have a fantastic night. Thank you all so very, very much. New stuff is coming out. New woo debunking. New bad arguments for God videos coming up. And of course, Week in Horror every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time over at the Week in Horror channel. Links to everything is down in the description below. And don't forget, this month, the month of August, is Immunization Awareness Month. So a link to support those efforts is also in the description. And I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. This has been an absolute blast. Hopefully next stream, I can have a guest on. I can have like Johnny or Irish or somebody on to chat with. It'll be a lot of fun just to kind of like do the thing. But yeah, this has been an absolute blast. Thank you all very much again to everybody out there. And as always, be safe, be excellent to each other, and together we can bridge the divide.